Hello? Good evening, gamers. Fuck, I started playing a video in the back by accident. Yo, the what? Dude, hold on. That was an accident. Like, I forgot to hit pause. yeah. I have a video on a tab that I want to watch with you guys. But anyway, yo, good evening, gamers. Hey, what's going on? It's been like a week. Nah, it's only been a few days. Hey, y'all. How goes it? How you guys doing? Happy wait, hold on. Before I do any sort of intro, I need to flip on my super fancy tracking here. This is like ritual at this point. All right, we're good. Yeah, we're good. It's good evening. Happy what's today? Happy Monday, the start of a new week. Not a raid week, but you know, start to most of our weeks. Hope you guys had a great time last week. Last week was a pretty exciting week. I'm not gonna lie, it was very festive. To those who don't know, last week there was like a little community convention slash festival, if you want to call it that, and it was it's called LunarCon. And unfortunately, I didn't really do a whole lot with that. But I was just like you guys. I was a viewer. I spent a whole lot of time watching that shit, and it was a good ass time. I feel like it was way bigger than it was last year, and that was awesome to see. Honestly, that was really cool to see. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a little bit of networking. Maybe I'll go to the next one. Yeah. Maybe we can have a little panel, and you guys can see me in the flesh. I mean, people honestly come and see me no matter what. But like, still, you get the idea. Hope you guys had a great last week, and if you did attend that or like watched it, I hope you enjoyed it. It looked like a lot of fun. That's Blue Glamour. Thanks, man. Thanks. Fuck, what's wrong with my fucking cup, man? Water keeps on spilling out, and it's getting on my clothes. Or sorry, my one article of clothing. But anyhow, hope you guys are well. I don't want to get my obnoxious laugh in your ears so soon into the stream. We're not even like 10 minutes in. But yeah. What's up, y'all? See you guys. Onesie, man? Nah, it's a lot smaller than a onesie. Too bad it doesn't match the purple lights. They're fucking blue, gamer. They're blue. Yeah, I wanted to try something new. Like, it's just, bro, it's been like summer's almost fucking done. I don't know what bro, I don't know what is up with this dev team, but they watch this fucking summer event. They're gonna drop another hat like they did last time. Last summer they dropped the hat. I would think it was a Moogle cap with the heart palm or something like that. I'm pretty sure, right? Isn't that what that was, or was that Valentine's? I forget, man. But listen, they've been lazy as hell with these fucking summer events, man, or honestly like these seasonal events in general. They've been so lazy. Wait, no, I think the last one was like the bear. It might have been the bear with the snowflake. I don't even remember, dude, but all I know is that they're mid and it's not great. So fuck it, dude. I put on my own swimsuit because they're never gonna drop one. We're getting a new swimsuit. Wait, they are. That's right. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot the billboard kind of leaked that, didn't they? Yeah, we are getting a swimsuit, dude. That's right. I'm so excited. But they're still taking forever. What the fuck? I want it like yesterday, man. So this is gonna have to do for now. Dude, it's just summer's almost over, man. What the fuck? Streamer mad at pixels? I get mad at pixels every fucking day, man. It doesn't matter which game I play. But anyhow, dudes, thanks so much for tuning in to yet another horror stream. Sorry I'm a little late. I did mention in my Discord server that I wanted to go live a little earlier in the afternoon, but oh god, it's just I was dead tired, so I wanted to sleep in a little bit. And then I woke up a little late, but good and sort of bad news. My raid group called off today. Today was a raid day, and that was honestly gonna like get in the way of stream, but they called off today, so like Pog, I can stream now, but like at the same time, fuck, we're like not progging ever. And we're so close, so that's a bit of a shame, but I mean, fuck it, we get to stream instead. Is the music too loud? Should I lower it? I think it's way too loud. I'm sorry, y'all. Let's lower that slightly. But anyhow, dudes, a bit of an update. Okay, so a couple streams ago, I did a little bit of a reveal. You know, a few of you may have been there when I did it, or you might still be hearing me fucking whine about it because I want it now. But I basically I recently got a 3D model, right? Like this 2D model that you see right now, I got this done in 3D, and it's like one for one. It's fucking perfect, and I really want to get started with that. I want to start making videos and recording and streaming with it. However, I can't really start yet because while I do have the asset, like the model, I don't have a VR headset. So yeah, the problem right now is waiting. I have to fucking wait for my headset to come in. And it's been trials, let me tell you that much, because I ordered okay, so here have been the steps that I've taken with the purchase of a VR headset. So I originally bought an HTC Vive Pro 2 from Amazon for like $200, almost $300 less than the retail price on their website. And dude, I had a feeling something was a little fishy with that, because it was getting delivered a full week and a half after the order date. And I am a veteran when it comes to Amazon, okay? I'm a veteran, all right? Like I do not buy shit that does not have a Prime delivery option, okay? I want my shit delivered tomorrow. But this headset didn't have a fucking option for that. So whatever, I was just gonna wait it. I was gonna try to be patient, but then I started to get a little, what the fuck? What is this? You can move, drag. Oh damn. Oh yeah, they like updated shit, so now I have like notifications popping up. Sorry. What was I talking about? God damn it, fucking ADHD! Concerned. Listen, they made an update, okay? I have to go through the menus at least one time. But anyway, real quick before I get sidetracked again. So I did a little bit of research and I learned that the fucking microphone on the Vive doesn't even matter if it's the Pro 2. The Pro 2 is like the like the latest and greatest HTC headset. Doesn't matter which fucking Vive you get, the microphone is always bad, okay? It's always dog shit, no matter which fucking Vive you get. So I thought about it and I was like, man, maybe I can get like an external mic. And I started doing a little bit of research, and it's just, I could totally do that. But the issue is, I was already spending too much fucking money on that headset, man. So I was like, dude, you know what? Let me do a bit more research on the index a little bit. And I started having like my doubts with this Vive, right? Especially since it was getting fucking delivered a week and a half later. Something was off. Something was off. That's not very Amazon, you know? So I took another look at the listing, and dude, I got baited. I got baited. I thought, oh my God, I thought I was buying it from HTC, dude, but it was some random guy. It was some random guy. It's because Amazon loves to do this thing when on the results list, like in your search query, on the item in the search results, Amazon loves to say, oh, buy, and then like the manufacturers, right? So in this case it would be HTC. But then when you click on it, it then shows, oh, but it's actually sold by so-and-so, right? And I didn't check that, so I didn't know it was some random guy. And then I also neglected to realize that it wasn't new. It didn't even say new on it. It didn't say new or used, so who knows what the fuck I would have gotten. So at this point, I was like, fuck, dude, do I want to follow through with this? Do I want to follow through with this? So I did a little, you know, YouTube watching, some Google searching, and then I finally I finally found a video that did a microphone comparison of the Vive and the Index. And holy fuck, dude, the Index sounds crisp, my dude, crisp. It is so clean for a fucking VR headset. I would have never expected that, you know? It was so good. So then I started looking up like the pros and the cons of an Index, right? And the one con, or like it has a couple cons in comparison to the fucking Vive, right? The Vive has like a better display, which honestly isn't that much better. The microphone is really what sells the fucking Index for me. But the Vive can also go wireless, which is a dub. But then you lose out on the better display, like the better resolution, if you go wireless. So it's kind of like, huh? What's the point, you know? But then the Index, it's just better mic and better FOV, you know? And then the controllers are also like thingy tracking devices. So I made the decision after like 3 long days of fucking researching to cancel the Vive order and to just get the fucking Index. I saved like $500 in the process, and now I'm just waiting for that thing to come in the mail. But yeah, sorry, that was a really long story. It's just, dudes, listen, I cannot stress enough, if you're going to make a big investment in an electronic, or honestly anything that's expensive, do your fucking research. Like, do not Do not cut it short. Make sure you do your research for a while. Anyway, yo, Dirty Buddy, thanks for the 6 months. Philbin, thanks for the 1 month, man. The tier 1, thank you so much. Hey, welcome. Can finally catch you live. Thanks, man. Yeah. I've been away for a couple days. But yeah. So like that's what I've been up to the past 3 days, just like pulling my hair out with this fucking VR nonsense, you know? Like I just want to make sure I get all that under control and I don't fucking waste all my money and all this and that, and I get something good. So yeah, we're good. I just have to wait a couple more days and then I'll get the fucking index in the mail, and then dude, like this is gonna change everything. This changes everything, okay? Like the 2D isn't gonna go away anytime soon, but I'm gonna be doing a lot of fun stuff with the 3D. Like I feel like the 3D is going to seriously elevate the quality of videos and make just recording much easier and more fun, you know? Because the thing is, I really wanted to implement the 2D model into my videos somehow, some way, but I didn't know how the fuck I wanted to go about it. Because like I watched Lucy's videos and Lucy does a phenomenal job, but frankly, I feel like the 2D is a little limited, like for videos, right? Like for streaming, I feel like it's fine. And honestly, the 3D is probably like great as well, but it's just that this 3D is so fucking good. And like I bought a bunch of trackers as well to like from like my legs and my hands, and I just feel like I can get like a lot. I just feel like it's gonna be better for like videos at the very least, you know? Why do you need the headset for 3D though? Well, the thing is, there's gonna be 2 versions of the model, okay? So there's gonna be one for VR chat, and then one for VTubing. The VTubing version isn't done. So like what you're seeing right now, the 2D model, this is meant for VTubing, right? So like I'm waiting to get the equivalent of the model for VTubing. But for now, I have the VR chat one ready, and I can use that for like VR chat or Beat Saber, yada, yada, yada. But I'm gonna be doing a lot of my recording in VR chat with a green screen, if that makes sense. But yeah, so like that's why I need the headset, because like I'm gonna do VR, bro. That's what it is. I'm gonna go to VR trying to fuck around, you know. Oh, and then I also want to hold like objects and shit, and I can't do that with the VTubing software for 3D, or maybe I can. I don't know. I haven't really messed around with 3D VTubing software yet. I'm waiting to get my hands on the VTubing 3D model first, and then I'll mess around with that. But sorry if like none of that clicked or like stuck to the wall. I've been going fucking ham. Oh shit, Ash, thanks for the 5, man. Thanks so much. I really appreciate that, man. Wow, thank you, dudes. I need to get my fucking alerts updated as well. Now that we have the new outfit, I really want to get those fixed. Ash, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Wow, thank you. I thought you meant just for 3D stream. Oh, I mean, I'm also gonna do 3D streams as well, like when we do like VR chat and Beat Saber. I'm gonna do a lot of Beat Saber, dude. I'm so excited. Oh my god, can I get an Onegai Onesama? Oh fuck. You really want that? You really want that? Huh? God damn it. You really want that one, dude? You really want that one? All right. I'm gonna say it nice and warm, very like ASMR. Okay. I haven't done this in a couple days, so like forgive me if it's a little garbage, but I'll try my best. I'll try my best. All right, here it comes. Onegai Onesama. There you go. There you go. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. Debated. Oh my god. Oh, listen. I don't know if I'm in like the best headspace to do the super high pitch bullshit. I need to like really squeeze my balls for that, dude. It's too fucking hard. I'm you'll have to fuck, man. I don't know if I can do it right now, man. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if I can do it. No, my Hari didn't yell afterwards, bro. It just came out. It came out. I couldn't hold it in. Paid for it. They did. Oh man. But yeah, how are you guys doing? It's been a while. Enough about me, enough about my stupid ass VR headset that's taking forever to come in the fucking mail. How you guys doing? It's good to see you guys. I've missed you guys. You guys have a good week? Good weekend? Ah, excuse me. You missed me? Oh my god, I missed you too. Doing good, playing Epic 7. Nice. I would never. You don't miss us? I miss you every fucking day, dude. I shit you guys not. There is never a day where you guys do not cross my mind. I think about you guys every fucking day. Every day that I don't stream, dude, I'm a fucking anxious mess. You know, like, for the most part, I am a pretty confident individual, but like, stream has messed me up, dude. Stream has messed me up. Now, whenever I'm not live, I'm just like, fuck, dude. Fuck, I gotta live for the homies. Sorry, don't even be like that. You stop. You know it's not like that. Stop. Also, thanks for the follows. Can't believe how hard developed the parasocial relationship. Stop. It's not even like that. It's not even like that. It's just... Stop. Kind of gay. Yeah, I guess I just miss the homies, man. That's all it is. Come on, man. You know, like, listen, I grew up in friend groups where we would hang out like on the daily, right? And like, if we didn't hang out every like couple days, something would be up. You know, I'd get a call and be like, yo, where you been, bro? You want to hang out something up, man? I'm just like, nah, let's chill, dude. You know? And that's basically how it is with stream, right? I missed a couple days and chat's like, Hor, where the fuck are you, man? Dead streamer? Don't wall us like usual? Oh my god, took our money and ran. You feel me? Like, come on, dude. It ain't like that. It ain't like that. That outfit's so cute. Thank you. Wait, which one? Where you at, dog? Yeah, I'm right here, man. I've just been spending a lot of time in bed. But yeah, hope you guys had a good weekend, good last week. You can't see it right now, but I'm doing a little dance. God, I can't wait for that fucking VR, dude. Where were you in this? What's that? Judging VTubers adas? Oh my gosh, I'm not relevant enough, man. Maybe someday. I'm not up there yet. I'm still a little small, not gonna lie. But maybe once I get the YouTube popping, you know, some videos cranking out, dude. I'm telling you, like, I feel like things will change once I start using that 30 model. I feel like I'll have a wider range, you know, cause like both 2D and 3D. Bro, it's gonna be so good. I'm sorry I keep on talking about it. I'm just so fucking excited. I'm excited as fuck. And the content's gonna be awesome. Faye Runa was in it. Oh, listen, man, it's just... Wait, what? Faye was in that video? How the fuck was I not in that video? Damn it, whatever, man. Gosh. Nobody likes these cat girl man VTubers, dude. Oh shoot, Dirty, thanks for the 5, man. What the fuck? You guys are so generous today. Hey, what's going on? Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Another 5. Wow. No name streamer. Stop, man. I'm like, I have a couple, you know, viewers here and there. Scam train? No. Listen, Ash got their money's worth, okay? Thanks so much, dude. I appreciate that. You didn't submit a nada. Oh, it was a submission type of deal? Yeah, that definitely explains it. Then I didn't do any sort of submitting. If viewers, I thought everyone here was a bot. Yeah, yeah. These bots have a lot of personality, honestly. Very fucking horny bots, man. Wait, that doesn't sound right. Ah, fuck. Just submit your no, I don't want anyone to see that, honestly. Like the world has already seen enough for me, dude. Ah, fuck.
My massive fucking titties. My super stuffed up milkies. My hunger.
Dude, it's been... I forgot I even had that. God.
Clapping, gravity welling sex sounds. You mean these super duper ultra hyper goddamn motherfucking...
Thanks for the bits. Appreciate that. Bro, they got so advanced, I swear they even bonk me from time to time. Dude, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I really need to like fix up the throw system, y'all. I'm so sorry. I haven't fixed it. I've been putting it off. It's because it breaks all the fucking time, man. I'm not sure if that happens anymore. Like, that's probably like a thing of the past now, but it's just every time it would get an update, it would break for me, man. Don't piss me off. Now imagine this in VR. Dude, I'm a very, like, I use my hands a lot. I'm very expressive with my arms. Like, I can't sit fucking still. Maybe it's ADHD, but I don't know. It's probably mixed, you know, that and just like personality. Like, I'm just very expressive. You what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, dude? Oh, they used horror grab stats in VR. Dude, there's collision. The boobs have collision in VR chat, by the way, on the model. So like, expect some fun shit, dude. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. I won't get banned. Don't worry. It's not gonna be anything super crazy. I'm not gonna get banned. Your streamer's not going anywhere, but they do have collision. They have collision. So like, it's not gonna be a clipping mess. You know, I'm not gonna no clip through my chest. It's gonna be sick. And there's physics, a lot of them too. Bro, there's physics on the butt. Collide them with the camera. Shut up. Shut up. Oh my god. I missed you guys. Did you guys miss me? Oh my god. I haven't laughed like this in a while. I don't know, man. Stream is just different. Now I'm like well behaved whenever I'm off stream, right? But on stream, I'm just like different, man. It's crazy. We saw you twice last week. I know, man. I meant to stream like all this week, but I'm not gonna lie. Like I got a little caught up with a lot of things, and I was trying to take care of it. It's just, dude, like the headset situation has been a fucking mess. I wish I had just stuck to the fucking Index. And the thing is, I was really trying to convince myself that the Vive was the one that I wanted to buy. Right, because it was newer. That's really what it was. It was newer and I wanted it, but like in reality that wasn't the best for me, and it's all sorted, so like now I can stream. But another thing is, like, moving forward, dudes, I need to figure out a proper schedule. Okay, I don't know if I will make like a schedule in the sense of like I'm gonna stream these same days every single week, but I can at least potentially promise in the future that I will start going live earlier, because like the thing, like what I've realized is that raid is too restricting for my stream, dude. Because like someone mentioned earlier, why, like, they ask why I don't stream Prague, and it's because Prague is really streaming is very distracting while progging for a streamer like me. You know, like if I were like a streamer like Whoops or I don't know, like Pharaoh or Llama Todd, it'd be easier, right? Because those dudes, like, they know when to flip the switch and focus, you know, like they always go like into focus mode, and they don't really worry too much about chat. They might check chat once every pool or something, you know. But me, I'll be checking chat like probably 20-30 times a pool, you know, and like that's not good. You know, like I still have fun, I get to, you know, chat, but the thing is, like, I cannot help myself, dude. Like I am so impulsive, and like I'll be in the middle of a point, I'll be like, this mechanic, it'll probably be fine, right? I'll look at chat, and like I'll see something like funny in chat, and I'll be so fucking stun locked that I'll kill the group, you know, and then they get mad at me, and then it's not worth it. So I prefer to not stream Prague, just so I don't have the distraction, you know. That's really just what it is. But like where I'm getting at with this is, in order to get around raid kind of like getting in the way of my streams, I'm probably just gonna start streaming earlier if I can act. What I do need to figure out is a decent sleep schedule, man, because like I am very random. I don't think the randomness of my sleeping patterns will ever change, but like I have to have better discipline on nights where I don't get that much sleep. Rather than just taking the day off, I just need to fucking wake up, chug some caffeine, and then hopefully get to bed on time after stream, you know. It's 1 a.m. for you, dude. I'm so fucking sorry. It's like 7 p.m. for me, and like that's why I want to stream earlier, because I want to be able to like hit more time zones and be a little more reasonable with my hours for everyone, you know, who can't really catch my stream at fucking 2 a.m. because it's absurd and it's just a bit much. So when are you gonna raid with Lamaton and Fiorina? I don't know, man. I don't know. I haven't done Savage in a while. I recently went back into Fort to help out some friends, and it was a good time. It's 1 a.m. I'm so sorry to all the late gamers. I'm so sorry. Listen, my EU homies, I will start streaming sooner, okay? Today was supposed to be the day that I go live earlier, but bro, I slept in. Oh my god, dude. Like, being American is hard, man. Especially someone who like stays in their house all day long. Like, dude, like I have my blackout curtains shut, my shades closed, like, dude. And then I also have like my diffuser on, so it smells nice. I have like the LEDs on, so like the vibe is there, you know. I have like really like relaxing music playing in the background, dude. It's just, oh my god, man, like it's a pain, bro. It's a pain, you know. I need to stop doing that, dude. I just need to, I need to fucking split my curtains wide open the fucking shades, and then just go to sleep when it's dark, you know. And then as soon as the sun rises, I wake up. That's what I really gotta do. Oh, it's a bitch. Thanks for going on early. It's almost 1 a.m. Dude, I'm gonna keep on going live early. I want to go live much earlier. In the past, I used to go live like between 5 and 6 p.m. EST, and it was a little more reasonable for you guys, but like, oh god, dude, there was an arc where I was going live at 3 p.m. Eastern, dude. That was my earliest. That was like my earliest. I want to get back to that point. It's just like, it's a very busy like time of the day. Like there's a lot of people streaming at at that time of the day as well. Just promise you guys won't forget about me, okay? Okay, I'm doing it for you guys. I swear. If I eventually get to it. Also, thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate that. I'm a little chatty right now because it's been a couple days, but thanks so much for being here, y'all. Dudes, I wanted to do a little bit of reacting because I love doing this thing. Like, I don't have a starting screen, like a starting student screen or starting stream screen, or like I don't even have a proper BRB screen. It's really fucking jank and bootleg. But I like setting up the G pose, and I go on YouTube and I find like a mix of music, and then I play it before I go live. But I saw a video I recommended, and it's a Josh Hayes video, and I really wanted to watch it with you guys. So if you're interested, it's called The Truth About MMO Content Create. Oh my god, it's an hour long. Never mind, I don't know if I can watch that. It's an hour fucking long, dude. Jesus Christ, it's almost 2 hours long. Never mind. I thought it was gonna be like 20 minutes long, bro. What the fuck? Damn it, I was so excited about this one. I'm like, oh shit, that's perfect. I put it on a new tab, and then that's it. Josh is based. He is, but dude, it's almost 2 fucking hours, man. My bank decided to close my account until tomorrow, and my playtime ran out, so I'm bored until tomorrow. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. Jeez. Hari, you sit there and talk for 2 hours, you can watch it. Yeah, but like my attention span, whole stream, let's go, dude. Yeah, it's gonna be the whole fucking stream. What the fuck? Jeez, that's over an hour. Your version will be 7 hours. And that's the thing, right? Like I really drag videos on because I love to give my take, you know. Okay, tell you guys what, you guys want to watch a little bit of it? Here's what I'll do. Let me skim through like the table of contents, and I'll see what's going on in this video. Okay, so he dedicates an entire 10 minutes to the topic of the audience size of MMO fans, and then another 20 minutes to toxicity, and then another 30 minutes to general channels versus specialists. I don't know. This is a very like in-depth video. I see. So like, all right. So it's not so. I feel like it. Not only does it talk about the creators, but it goes into like really like deep detail about like MMO in general. You know, MMOs in general. So like not just that. Josh's vids are like that. Yeah, I feel like the last few that I've seen were like the worst MMO ever videos, and I think the longest one I saw before that or during that time was like 45 minutes or so. Okay, tell you what, we'll watch a little bit of it, okay? Because it's gonna be a long ass video, so we'll watch a little bit, and then I'll carry on with my daily activities, which is meant to relate because we're really close to that fucking mount. I've been close for a while. This is a 3-minute video. What is that? Silhouette Kanabun. I can't play that, dude. I'm gonna get DMCA'd, man. I've actually seen that though.
The MMORPG genre has millions of players across multiple games, from major studio releases to the more niche markets. And yet, as a genre, it has relatively few content creators. There are a handful of general MMO channels covering the genre as a whole, several video essay channels who touch on MMOs from time to time, and then specialized channels who focus on a specific game. But when you compare the MMORPG content creator roster to larger genres like first-person shooters or battle royales, even individual games like Minecraft or League of Legends, we are relatively small. The truth is, I want more people to start making MMO content, but there are some harsh truths you should know before starting. So why aren't there more general MMO content creators? Why aren't new up-and-coming YouTubers flooding into this market? And what's affecting the quality and quantity of the content that the current content creators can put out?
I feel like this really varies from MMO to MMO. Like in Final Fantasy, I feel like up until recently, we've actually been lacking a lot of content creators. And within the last like year and a half or two, we've seen a lot more. Like there's been a bit of an explosion in the YouTube space. You know, like now we have like Lucy Fire, we have Pint, we have a whole lot of creators that came from WoW over to Final Fantasy. And I feel like more people, even like veteran Final Fantasy players are, you know, trying out content creation. You know, like in the past, I always wanted to make videos, but the thing is, like, I had a really bad computer when I used to play this game like years ago. So now that I have a much better computer, I can totally do it. I mean, I have been doing it, but it's just, I don't know, man. The thing with MMOs, especially Final Fantasy, is that there's room for so many different ideas, topics, and like themes, right? And that's my problem right now. I have too many ideas, and I don't know what to fucking do with them. You know, and I'm also extremely inexperienced. I've always been a viewer of these types of videos, but like, I've never, like, up until recently, I've never actually written a script for one of these types of things, you know, like I used to do essays in like middle school and shit, high school, like an expository or a narrative, and I feel like a narrative is probably a little closer. Well, I don't know. I feel like both of those actually play their part. Like an expository would probably be better for like going over like I don't know, like job balance or something like that, while a narrative would be better for like a pint video. You feel me? And they're both pretty difficult in their own way. I feel like telling a story is much harder than just putting together a bunch of information in like a clean and concise way.
Let's find out. Welcome, I'm Josh Strife Hayes, and in this video I'm going to pull back the curtain on MMORPG content creation full expose style. I'll be talking to several other MMO content creators about their process and the challenges they face. If you've ever watched any MMO content creator, either general genre focused or game specific, and thought, oh, why do all these guys suck? We need better creators. Then this video is for you, because put simply, we want more people to make MMO content, but we also need to be honest with you about what you're getting yourself into.
I felt this way for, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not gonna be fake and be like, oh, I would never feel that way. I'm not toxic like that. Dude, once upon a time I was one of those guys who thought Final Fantasy YouTube was dog shit, you know? Like at the time, stop. Listen, I'm great at what I do, okay? I'm not included in that batch, all right? Yeah, surely. Anyway, I was just so bored, man, because like I felt like years ago, I felt like the best ones at the time, and this was like before we got Zepla, I feel like, or like as Zepla was coming up, we had like Larry, Denmo, and that was it. Shortly after came like Zepla, and yeah, that's about it. But before that, it's mostly, the thing is, like, Final Fantasy videos in the past. Oh, we did have Tate. We did have Golden Tot. We did have him as well. I forgot about him. He's been away for so long. But before that, and honestly to this day, like, it's mostly just guides, right? It's guides or like figuring out what job you want to play, like mostly overviews of like systems or just classes, you know? And it's just, how many times can I watch the same fucking video just done or like explained by a different person, you know? So that's why like Larry videos, Zepla, Denmo, Lucy, Liffy, that's why all these videos are so good, you know? And Pine, so like they're also like they're much more successful because like they're a little more creative, or not even a little, they're much more creative, you know? And I'm not trying to undermine the guide makers or anything. It's just guides are there, like, I feel like they don't really have, okay, you could argue they have a lot of like replayable potential because like you can go back and like watch it if you forget the fight, right? But like once that fight is irrelevant, those videos just fizzle out and they're forgotten, you know? Desparious as well. That's true. Desparious is pretty good as well. And like I'm sure I'm missing a bunch, you know, like there's plenty more that I just don't remember. But poor MTQ, dude, I haven't watched MTQ in so long. She's another guide maker, right? But that's the thing. We have like Xeno, we got Happy, we have MTQ, we have Desparious. I mean, I don't know if Desparious actually makes guides, but there's just so many. There's so many, you know, and like I feel like it creates an environment where like everyone's kind of like racing and fighting to get their guides out first, you know, who's gonna get it first, right? And I feel like that's also part of the reason why so many people like tend to have an easy time hating on Mr. Happy. It's because he probably rushes, you know, like he probably doesn't say this a lot in his stream, but like I wouldn't be fucking surprised if this is, you know, factual, where like he rushes to get these guides out because like it's just that the nature of that environment, you know, like you want to get your guide out first so you can get the views. And as much as people like to say it's not about the views, you know, it's partly the views. Let's be real, dude. Content creators have to worry about, you know, like the views and their subscription and like or like their subscribers. Like at the end of the day, it's a passion, you know, and it could be a hobby for some, but like at the same time it can have the potential to be an occupation, and you have to take it seriously at times, which is why they have to rush so much, and it tends to be sloppy as fuck and all that, right? And then that creates room for hating. Granted, you could argue that like they shouldn't be behaving that way, but like we're on the fucking internet and people act the way they fucking want to. So that's just what it is, man.
This isn't me complaining about my job. I think I have the best job in the world, and I'm privileged to be able to create content on a genre I love so much. This video is simply a look at the reality of the challenges you will face creating content within the MMO arena. For this video, I reached out to and interviewed several other YouTubers who cover general MMO content, several who specialize in one specific MMO game, and several general entertainment channels whose work includes MMOs. These channels include Asmongold, Kira TV, The Lazy Peon, MMO Byte, Work to Game, Ginger Prime, Callum Upton, Zeppler, Brozeme, Wicked Wiz, Many Kudos, Rage Darling, The Mighty Teapot, and Nerd Slayer. I sat down and spoke to each of these creators at length about 7 specific issues I feel MMO content creators face. 1. The actual audience size of the MMO.
Can you turn up the volume, please? I actually can't turn it up anymore because I'm looking at my levels and it's crossing into the yellow zone. So like if I did, I feel like it's just gonna blast people's ears. I'll crank it up one more notch.
Market in relation to the general gaming world. 2. The toxic response of extreme fans to critique of their game. 3. The risks of being a general genre channel versus specializing into a single game. 4. The sheer amount of time it takes to finish an MMORPG. 5. The time-sensitive nature of MMOs pushing creators to make repetitive videos or focus on speed over depth. 6. The viability of first impression videos and why the genre is strange in its celebrated design trope of endgame. And 7. The difference in playing to critique and playing to enjoy. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to include the complete interview with every creator, because doing that would make this video over 7 hours long, so I've had to edit them down to succinct answers. No one has been edited to appear out of context or to provide a false narrative away from their true feelings. The Lazy Peon was unable to talk via audio, but he did provide a complete list of answers to me, so those will be read in.
TLDR?
Because of the need to be thorough and give each creator time to explain their position, this needed to be a long video, so grab a drink and settle in as we discuss the truth behind MMO
God, dude.
content
We're gonna be here for a while, y'all.
A massive thank you to all the supporters on Patreon and Twitch who help keep this.
Bro, I gotta start a Patreon. What is this, dude? It looks like a fucking dictionary, man. Look at all the text. Oh my god, dude. Patreon meta? What the fuck?
More information on how
YouTube's crazy, isn't it?
For now, let's begin. The first issue is the total size of the audience actually consuming MMO content. Let's start simple. Why don't the mainstream gaming news have detailed coverage on MMORPGs? While you might get the occasional review on Final Fantasy XIV and its massive multi-million-pound expansions, or the cinematic trailers for The Elder Scrolls Online, you won't find PC Gamer discussing the monthly RuneScape patch notes, or print newspaper articles about the nerfs and buffs of Neverwinter.
I want a kangaroo mount so bad.
It can be important to step back and realize while the genre has passionate fans, the average person may not even know what the acronym MMO means. Games like Call of Duty, Candy Crush, and FIFA simply appeal to far more people.
I'm not gonna lie, man, like, it's actually really difficult to talk to people IRL about what I play, because I tend to like chat with people who are around my age, and they're gamers too, you know, like it's quite common to run into a gamer, believe it or not, like if you so happen to talk about it. And I was waiting in line at a restaurant for some food, and this guy was making small talk with me, and he actually asked me, he's like, "Hey, you a gamer?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm a gamer." And he was like, "What do you play?" And I was like, how about you tell me what you play first?" And he was like, "Oh, I play like Valorant, you know, like just FPS games, right?" And I was like, "Oh shit, man." And he was like, "What do you play?" And I told him, I was like, "You know what an MMO is?" And he was like, like WoW?" And I'm like, "Something like that, yeah." And he's like, "Yeah, I did play the free trial like 10 years ago." And I was like, "Yeah, I play one of those." And he's like, "Oh, you don't play any like FPS?" And I'm like, I mean, if I'm being honest, man, the last FPS I honestly took seriously was Overwatch. And that was like 4 years ago, dude. So it's hard. I feel like a lot of people I meet IRL just don't play MMOs. The majority of my MMO friends have all been made on the fucking game, or in the fucking game, or on Twitch, you know, or on Discord, or whatever, like online. Like I might have met like 3 friends IRL who actually play MMOs, you know. If anything, it was more common back when I was a kid, like in elementary, because that's when like WoW had first come out and RuneScape was super popular. It was way more common back then, but like the age of the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, that changed gamers everywhere, man. Especially with the Zoomers that we have today. These dudes are fucking playing Fortnite. You know, they're still playing Minecraft. You know, we're crying out loud. Pine still fucking sweats at Minecraft. Shit's crazy, man. I haven't played Minecraft in a decade. But I really want to get back into it. I've actually been watching a couple videos here and there, and it looks so, dude. It's the type of game like you should probably go back to from time to time if you just want to relax, man. Because there's times where I'm just like, oh, I don't really want to sweat anymore, man. I'm tired of sweating, and I just want to kick back and relax, play some Minecraft, build a little mud hut or something. I don't know.
Gaming magazines were still the primary form of distributing gaming news. The editor would have to make a decision about what news deserves front page space.
Minecraft is an
major
MMO.
article space within the magazine, and the MMO genre would never be the first choice. Now, print media is dying, but the principle remains the same with digital. Front page space is still limited on a website. While a gaming news site may be able to host an article about MMOs, it just won't get as many views as an article about, say, Apex Legends or Minecraft. This means reporting
What'd I tell
on
you,
MMOs
man?
is often too niche for major news sites, so you have the more focused sites like MMO Bomb or Massively OP. While these
Dude, I've never checked any of these websites. I have never checked a single one of these. If I ever hear about MMO news, it's from a fucking YouTube video. It's probably from Josh or like Bellular or Asmongold or that's about it, you know? Like, it doesn't go any further than that. You know, and like for Final Fantasy, obviously Zepla and Happy. I don't really watch anyone else for news. Oh, and I guess now there's Quasi. Quasi's a pretty good one for Final Fantasy news. He covers it like basically every other day. It's crazy.
sites do a great job of reporting on the MMO world, they don't have the funding of the major sites. What this means is, while individual creators can find levels of success, there's far less fame and fortune in MMO content than in other genres. MMO videos are often produced by individuals, not teams, and this impacts both the quality and quantity of content. The individuals need to play the games themselves, record the footage, write the scripts, record the voiceover, edit it, and then upload it, and all this takes time. Now, large corporations can crank out endless daily content with extremely high production values about popular games because they know those videos will be consumed by the gaming masses. While there are standout creators who have been able to produce high quality content like Settled with his old RuneScape series, those videos take weeks, sometimes months to create.
Oh my god, they do, man.
Needs you to make consistent, high-quality videos. The MMO content creation landscape is simply much smaller scale than many realize.
Oh, absolutely, and that's the same with anything. It's basically like concentric circles that become smaller the more that you get into it. And I use this analogy whenever I was talking about pay to win in games. It's that you have like the circle of people that play the game, the circle of people that consume content for the game, the circle of people who consume content for the game that they play, that care about this topic, and then inside of that are the people that are actually willing to do something about it. So whenever you actually get down into it, I think that's very much the case. And the MMOs, I think, are a very interesting type of genre, because a lot of people that play MMOs are, I think, a little bit more like nostalgic for how things were versus like maybe shooters or RPG games as a whole. And because of that, I think that you see a lot more of an aversion towards like the social media, phenomenon. And
I'm gonna be honest, one of the biggest reasons why I fucking love MMOs and honestly prefer them over most other games is because MMOs give you something to like invest your time into and build a character, right? Like you're building this character that you've been playing for years, and it keeps on growing. Like you get more gear, like you get this crazy fucking glamour dresser of glamour, or like whatever, like your BIS, you raid, there's always something to do, and your character just keeps on getting better. Like if the day came where I'm not saying this is gonna happen, but if one day I ever got banned and I lost my character, that would suck, dude. That would fucking suck, because I have a lot on this character, man. I have a lot, And I feel like Call of Duty and games like those are meant to just, you pick up you just turn on the console, you pick up your controller, you play a couple games, turn it off, and you're done. You're done. Like they're meant for like short-term play, while MMOs are like long-term. Like you really invest time into this game and you build your character, and it doesn't really get reset. 900 days. Yeah, dude. It's been a long ass time. But like for example, like with Final Fantasy, I mean, you can argue that lots of money. Yeah, a lot of money as well. You have to pay a fucking sub on top of that and buy expansions. And the cash shop glamour as well. Fuck. There's a lot that's being invested. It's not just your time. But with Final Fantasy, they do implement like time sinks that become a tad irrelevant over time. Like say Savage, right? Or Crafted Gear. or relics. You know, relics are relevant for an entire expansion, and then they're dead. After that, they just become glamour. That's really it. They don't really do a whole lot. And I guess some relics are actually bis in ultimates, like it was last expansion. I think relic was actually bis for T or something like that. But you feel me? Like there are like minor resets or grind resets, but those are honestly not that bad, because I feel like with the way that raid progression kind of resets every single raid tier is good. It's just really good for newer players. It's much better than like say how WoW does it, right? I mean, I'm not sure how WoW does it, but I've heard it's not quite the same, and it's really bad. You know, like it's just a little hard for a new player to get into it long term. Or maybe not. Maybe that's like Lost Ark or something. I might be talking to my ass, but like I'm just speaking from experience with Final Fantasy. This game handles it very well, where a new player can just hop in and then raid. You know, like I don't really get that connected to my raid gear, because you clear week 1 or week 2, and I know not everyone clears that quickly, but like you just sync a couple weeks and that's it. It's not that long of a time sync, you know. Like it could be much longer. Like relics, you get your time's worth by the end of the expansion. Like, yeah, like it goes away and like now it's irrelevant next expansion, but at least it was good for 2 fucking years, right? Raid gear, you don't really sink that much time into getting bis, truth be told, right? Like what, 4, 5, 6 weeks total, and then you're bis, you know, and then that last 3-4 months, then boom, new raids here, it's irrelevant, you know. I think personally, I think that's fine. I actually do not mind that. That's not that bad, you know. Like it's not really that difficult to get that gear, you know. But if a relic would just get fucked every other fucking patch, that would suck. That would suck, because you dedicate much more time into that shit, you know. Lost Ark, you just pay. True. Compare to gacha games, it's so much better. FF14 helped me with my gacha addiction. Right on, dude. I'm not gonna lie, I did try out Genshin Impact when it first released. I spent $50 and I didn't like the way they handled it, you know. Like I felt like they would push you away from playing more so you could keep on coming back, you know. And then on top of that, like it's just, you gotta pay tons of money to potentially get a character you want, and that's just not for me. I'd rather work towards it, you know, in a timely fashion, like not spend like my entire fucking year trying to get lucky enough to get a good role, you know. Like it's just to each their own. I'm sure there's people who love gacha games, and I respect that, you know. There's a game for everyone, but I hate RNG. I hate it.
And like the YouTube videos and content creators, and I've seen more pushback towards content creators in MMOs than I have in a bunch of other content and a bunch of other types of types of genres of games.
You will sometimes run into people that play the game or have played the game, but it's not so big that it's all encompassing. Everyone's heard about this, and I feel like generally, especially even for like very experienced Warframe players, people are pretty comfortable with that. Warframe is a game that is kind of one of the ones it's big, but nobody talks about it.
Yeah, I think it's massively.
I used to hear about Warframe all the fucking time. What's up, Mika? How you doing? You played over 20 plus gachas and spend 0 pennies. Guess I have a good self-control. Good for you, man. Good for you. Like I spent 50 fucking bucks and I regretted it. Honestly, I actually didn't regret it, because I kind of got really lucky and I got 4 5 stars. But like it's just I regretted it in the end because I didn't really stick with it, you know. I didn't keep on playing, and I didn't get my money's worth. I did get those 5 stars, but like I didn't do shit with them, so I was like, yeah, this money. Does someone want my Genshin Impact account? like I'm sure account sharing isn't really, you know, like TOS, but I'm not playing it, dude.
Overestimated the size, and for one key reason. The players play multiple MMOs, but they only really have one MMO that they call home. Whenever we see like new MMOs coming out, you see existing like player bases just moving from MMO to MMO. And I think it's unfair to look at the population size from like a net total of all popular MMOs, because most people are jumping from one to the next. And I think that's the main factor, for me at least, in thinking that the audience isn't as big as we think. Because like you say, it's an even smaller audience that watch the content. But that's a more true audience, because it's one YouTube account, you know, to watch all the MMO content. And I think that's why we see a much smaller sample size in content creation.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not one of those players who hops from MMO to MMO. Like I am very loyal to this game, And it's not like I think every other MMO is bad. It's just this is like the one for me, you know. Like I love Final Fantasy so much. I love the way it feels. I love the way it looks. I love the characters, the world, the story. It's all good. The systems, like it's just fucking great. I do play like every now and then. I might hop onto RuneScape, played a little bit, but like, you know, it's just not the same. And like with Lost Ark, I did try Lost Ark a little bit when it first released, and I quit around level 40. You know, like I did think the combat was cool. I thought the visuals were very flashy. I fucking hated the stupid gender lock on the classes. I thought that was really fucking dumb. But I mean, I'm like, it's just different companies or regions handle their games differently, you know. So who am I to complain? And then another thing is that like at the time it was very pay to win, and I didn't really want to invest all that time just to get hit by a fucking brick wall with fucking paint or like graffiti that says pay this much money, you know, and like you can keep on playing. I don't want to have to fucking climb that wall, you know, that big paywall. So and like I've been hearing things that Lost Ark now isn't so much pay to win in comparison to how it used to be, and that's fantastic to hear. And I'm glad they're like changing things up so like they can expand their player base, and it's just a little better. It's just more healthy for a player base, you know. But at the same time, even so, I just can't really find it in me to do that so much. And like I guess you could compare it to an addiction, right? Like a lot of people used to point fingers at Asmongold, and they were like, yeah, like this was before he got on like Final Fantasy and what's it called, that Lost Ark and all these other MMOs, and like they would always say, oh, you're addicted, and they would try to like diagnose this man with like crippling addiction because he just can't stop playing WoW. And honestly, there might be some truth behind it. Like he might well be like addicted, but I don't know, man. It's just something that I enjoy doing, and it's fun. It's like a hobby, a long-term hobby, right? But there are definitely some players who do hop like that. I don't know, man. I have a hard time game hopping. Like Savix, for example. Savix has become a bit of a game hopper. I'm not gonna lie, or an MMO hopper. He used to be like a WoW Andy, right? And then he swapped to 14, and then he swapped to Lost Ark, and now he's back on WoW. So it's just like, man, I don't know. Maybe it's not as bad as I think it is. Maybe it's not as bad as I think it is, but I feel like it's kind of difficult having to constantly hop from game to game and losing your progress and having to like learn a brand new game. Maybe it's fun. I don't know. You know, like the experience is different, or is different for everyone. I'd imagine. Asmon still shits on Guild Wars 2, but he never explains why. Plus, he never played it, so I don't take his takes on Guild Wars at all. I've never played it either. That's the thing. Like, I tend not to like really give my opinion on games I haven't played, and that's why I try to like back up a little bit whenever I try to criticize Lost Ark, because I didn't make it to the part of the game where everyone tends to criticize it for, right? Like I have heard about it, and like I think I'm not necessarily wrong to just regurgitate what everyone says, because I'm not trying to be like a hive or like of the hive mind, but like it's got to be true, you know, if this many people are saying it. So I don't know.
The idea that within just the label of MMORPG that there is actually any idea of a community, I think the term MMORPG community is in and of itself an oxymoron. It's not to insult people who love MMORPGs, but you can just go out to any heck the main subreddit, but any space. MMOs are like, I think almost in a way tribal by nature and by business model.
Absolutely.
But, within that space, then you could talk about within people who enjoy the content, like not just play the games.
I know it sounds silly too, right? Like tribalism in my MMO. I know it sounds a little silly, but it's true. It's true. Like let's be real. Like you'd be crazy if you turn a fucking blind eye to like the tribalism between Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft. But dude, like it's just ridiculous. You know, like these dudes butt fucking heads, man. And as much as I would love to just be friends with all the WoW Andes, I don't know if it'll ever really be that easy, you know? Like, we're very different communities, and we do have a lot of similarities, but there's even more differences, you know? And I would like to try WoW eventually. I say it all the damn time, but dude, I want to see what happens, you know? Like when I go, like if I try WoW, I want to see what exactly happens. I'm going to title my stream very controversially, okay? I'm going to title it like, oh, FF Andy tries WoW for the very first time. You know, I want to see, I really want to see how they treat that kind of player, you know? Like I'm not I feel like maybe what's his name, the black mage dude, Sphia. I feel like he might have tried that, but I feel like he might fit a little better, right, in that space than I do, right? Like if I hop in there, a fucking VTuber, bro, a cat girl VTuber, I'm gonna get fucked up, dude. But I'm willing to stomach that for the sake of potentially enjoying the game and having a second MMO to play. You know, whenever Final Fantasy's a little dry, like on my off time, my free time, maybe I'll try playing something else to keep me a little, you know, preoccupied. I'm still gonna main Final Fantasy and stream it more than anything, but like I at least want to try it so I can give my honest opinion. That's the thing. I've struggled with giving my take on fucking World of Warcraft because I simply don't. I haven't experienced it, so I can't, you know, like I can regurgitate what people tell me, but I feel like it's just dishonest in a way because like I don't know if it's all true. I need to experience it firsthand and then give my opinion of it. It's fucking weird, man.
But enjoy the content. People who then go about and share their opinion in a comment or a tweet or even post on the Reddit or even the fraction of a fraction of a fraction. And so MMORPGs are very niche.
In general, whenever you're doing anything, you're basically niche within a niche, and you're talking about fractions of percentages of player bases. It's definitely much smaller than what people would think from the actual player numbers.
I think the Twitch viewer numbers whenever a new MMO has released has shown there are a lot of people interested in MMOs waiting for the next big thing. New World plus Lost Ark are examples. 1 million players at launch, close to 1 million Twitch viewers. The interest is there. However, the next-gen quality MMO that people are waiting for isn't.
The Hive leader, who used to do...
I'm so sorry to keep on pausing, dudes. We're literally not even 10 minutes into the video, but like I have a question to ask you guys. Why do you guys think... Okay. Let me say this first. I don't know if you've actually paid attention to like the Final Fantasy view count, like for the category, but it's not as large as some other games, you know? Or I'm sorry, some other MMOs. So... let me ask you guys this. Why do you think that's the case? Because I have my own like theory, but I want to know what other people think. You know, like I feel like the game is really exciting to watch. If like a public figure, like a popular streamer or YouTuber is doing MSQ, like Pint, for example, or Asmin, or some of the Echo dudes. Like that's like an event, right? Or Zepla, or any of these like well-known creators, like going through the MSQ, like the most exciting thing of the expansion, from what most people say. That's a big deal, right? Or like LunarCon was a big deal, so like the viewership was way up, you know, in comparison to how it usually is. Or the Ultimate drop, especially DSR, like that was also really exciting. But as soon as all that dies down, like within a week, what happens after that, you know? Like it just kind of fizzles out. And I guess I guess you can sort of like put like a lot of the blame on the streamers, right? Because like maybe the streamers aren't streaming entertaining enough content. And I feel like that can be a fair argument in a way, but what would you consider entertaining then, you know? Like, because like there's so many different like types of viewers, right? Like a lot will enjoy sitting in a stream, or like the streamers are like a lot more silent, just relaxed, and he's just raiding. You know, he's progging, he's sweating, he's focused, he doesn't really pay too much attention to chat, and it's a much more of like a gameplay spectator experience, you know? Then on the other hand, there's streamers like me who mostly do a whole lot of talking, some reacting, and just like really like brain dead content on brain dead jobs where I don't have to focus that much and I can focus on chat. Like it feels a lot more like a just chatting stream, you know? Personally, I feel like that's more of an entertaining experience versus rating, but it varies from person to person. It always does. Summoner, yeah. Raid content isn't great to watch, which is where FF exceeds. PvP is more fun to watch, where FF suffers. That's true. But I feel like PvP is on the rise right now. PvP in Final Fantasy currently still is not perfect. It's a lot better than it was, say, last expansion and like every expansion before that. But I feel like the community is really trying to like make a change, like a difference with PvP now, because it's been so garbage, like dog water in the past. And I don't know if you guys watch Plus One, but I do see him go live from time. I think he's doing like a weekly thing now, you know. And I feel like that's proof enough that they're actually trying to like do something with it, you know, rather than let it just die and everyone forgets about it. and then most people who haven't even tried PvP, like they default back into saying it's garbage, but they haven't even tried it, you know. At least now there's stuff to watch, there's tournaments, you know. It's just, dude, I actually tried watching one of them last week and I had a hard time because of the fucking netcode, dude. Like, when you play the game, it feels snappy, right? Like your character moves real time, there's no like delay. But when you look at other people moving around, god damn, is it bad, dude. They move like a whole 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds later. And if you have a high ping, even later than that, dude, it's bad. It's really, really bad. And you have to go through like through fucking trials to play well, you know. Like whenever I'm so sorry, I've been saying like crazy. But anyway, when I play PvP, especially as a melee, I use this this little function that I never ever used on PvE. I use it on dummy, but I don't use it anywhere else. I use it in PvP, and it's a lock on. You can lock onto your target, and then your camera follows your target, right? And I feel like if you don't use that, you tend to have a difficult time keeping it like on your target. Like you just fall off of them, right? Like they juke you out, and you get your ankles broken, and you look like a fucking like a fucking clown, you know. And then you get outplayed. But if you lock on, you just hold W, dude. You're pressing this guy, and you never lose him. Right? If you tunnel hard enough, then you probably die. But if you lock on and just press them, dude, like the pressure is unreal, and they can't get you off. They cannot get you off. It's so good. It's so fucking good. But at the end of the day, it's just PvP is a little limited, and they're trying to be better with it. But in the past, they didn't really give a fuck, you know. Or maybe they did, but they just didn't. Maybe they just cared more about everything else, which I'm sure is the truth. You know, they cared about literally everything else. But yeah. I have hopes. I have hopes for like the PvP scene in the future. Hopefully it gets better.
MMO-oriented videos, and then he left to pursue more comic-related, more generalized gaming videos because he knew that the MMO scene was continuing to stagnate. And my hairdresser that I go to every month, she has friends that have children. They're all gamers. They play things like Fortnite, like PUBG. He's pursuing content creation himself. He has a channel that's got, I think, like 20 or 30,000 views. So she asked me, hey, Mark, what kind of advice do you have for him? And I'm like, well, what kind of videos does he do? Because I do MMO-related content. And then asked her to clarify with me what exactly an MMO is. So then I said, it's a massively multiplayer game. And he goes, oh, so it's like Fortnite.
We live in a bubble. It feels like everything is so massive and big to us and popular, especially when we get a new game now. It's like, even if it's not a AAA game, we're just like, wow, look at this new game. Like, it's like, but when you look at a lot of our barriers, which I think are just some of them natural, right? Progression takes time, some more time investment. You look at the difficulties of the games, in many cases have been too hard to even attract the right kind of audience, and having a stable internet connection, and in some cases being willing to pay the subscription fee has been things that have been huge barriers that have kept the audience smaller. And feels like that content is big because our influence is big, right? We influence every other genre. Every other genre wants to be like us in some ways, but I don't think we actually move the needle, which is kind of what you're saying, as much as people might think.
If you were talking to like a mum and you were like, hey, I play an MMORPG, they'd be like, what's that? Is that like Fortnite? Because
that's not true at all. Dude, my mom doesn't know what the fuck Fortnite is. Dude, my mom just learned about TikTok the other day. Like, there's no way she knows about Fortnite, man. Yeah, right. Yeah, fucking right, man. And honestly, I don't even know how the fuck I would begin to explain what an MMO is to my mother, man. Be like, okay, mom. Okay, let me actually try this. I'd be like, okay, mom, it's this very large game with tons, thousands, hundreds of thousands of players, and dude, there's so much. I have to explain so much, right? Like okay, so this one specifically, Final Fantasy, right? It's story based, so like you can follow a story and you level up your character to a max level of 90 with this story. But there's a million different things you can do. You can do fishing. You can be a weaver. You can make your house, you know. And this is just like, well, it sounds overwhelming. I'm not interested. Okay. You feel me? What's that? Yeah. Yeah, gosh, it's just you need to explain VTubing first. I don't know if I'm ever gonna do that. Listen, all she needs to understand is what streaming is. She doesn't have to know about the VTuber part.
The concept of an MMO is massively multiplayer online, so it gives that false perception that there are so many people to populate, but in reality, it really isn't. I think there's a small amount of gamers that play MMORPGs regularly. It's interesting that 50 to 70,000 seems like a lot of people because it actually isn't. I think there's like 8 million people playing Fortnite right now, and that's a lot of people.
Even just talking to a friend, his idea of an MMO.
What's your guys' take on that? How do you guys feel about that? About her take just now? Do you guys think 70,000 is a small number? I mean, I feel like in comparison to other games like Fortnite, yeah, of course it seems small in retrospect, right? But 70,000 is a lot of people, dude. 70,000 is a lot of fucking people. But listen, my high school was pretty fucking big, and there were 4,000 kids in that in this big high school, 4,000 kids, and it was packed. 70,000 people, you know, and obviously things change, right? Like maybe the quantity or like that size of a player base doesn't seem that large and like online, right? Maybe this amount of people seems way more exaggerated IRL, but like online maybe it's different, you know. But I still think 80,000 is a lot of fucking people. Granted, for an MMO like Final Fantasy, you would consider that a little bit, right? Because this game obviously costs so much money to keep up, you know, or to develop the MSQ, the jobs, like the entire world, the different zones. So like, yeah, 70,000 in that sense might seem small because like, how the fuck are you supposed to fund a budget for this game when you don't have more than 100,000 players? And I'm not too educated with the statistics of it, but I mean, I guess I can see her POV. I get that.
MMO came from, what was that show? Big Bang Theory. And I mean, I've not really watched much of it, but I can already tell that it's probably toned down quite a lot. It's probably a lot harder for the general audience to understand what an MMO is, and then to describe that in a very simplistic way. I can see that being a challenge in of itself, because I don't really see MMOs being talked about too much, to be honest, besides YouTube.
If you have 5, 6, 7 friends,
agreed,
MMO can feel very lively. It can feel, that's not 12 million. Like we're talking 6, like could fit in a large SUV. Like that's what it takes. And some of these games call for 25. Like they don't take this big thing. But there's so many ways to play, and there's such big games that you end up honed in with your little group of like 8 or so. And that ends up defining your experience. Somebody can have a bad guild experience and can quit an MMO, even though that was really based on probably 2 or 3 out of like 20 people that put the bad taste in their mouth. So I think not only are they not that big, but they don't have to be that big.
I think in recent years that has started to shift a little bit. I think I felt like that more longer ago than maybe in the past couple of years, because I mean, recently we've seen a lot of hype and a lot of publicity around Lost Ark, New World. Like last year, there was a massive media frenzy about the WoW Exodus. I don't know, maybe my perspective is distorted because I'm in this community, and so when I see a lot of news about FF14, I'm like, oh well, everybody's clearly talking about FF14. My game is big and getting bigger, but that. I'm not sure if I can give an honest answer to that while I'm so entrenched within this bubble, right? Like, can I be really objective about that when I can't? I'm like, I'm knee deep in it.
So the people and few organizations.
Yeah, no, she has a point. She does have a really good point, because WoW, Final Fantasy, Lost Ark, and even New World on its release, when they were fucking massive, like really, 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 really big, you know. And Final Fantasy is still huge. WoW is probably having a surge right now with its new expansion around the corner. Lost Ark, I haven't really checked the Steam numbers with Lost Ark. I usually only ever see those numbers if Asmon pulls it up on his stream, if I'm watching a video of his. But I'd imagine Lost Ark is still doing fucking great. You know, Final Fantasy, we don't gotta talk about that. You already know Final Fantasy, stay killing it, boy. And WoW is probably gonna come around very soon. You know, Lost Ark, or I'm sorry, New World's a bit of a joke these days. You know, it's a little pathetic actually. But I feel like we at least need to acknowledge the sheer fucking size of the player base on its launch, you know, for crying out loud. Like that was mayhem, dude. There were so many fucking people playing that game. It was so hyped, and they fucking let it slip so hard. What the fuck, Amazon? Come on, man, fix your game. Jeez, what a shame. What a shame. Honestly, maybe it just wasn't meant to be, like, ever.
Organizations who are making MMO content are often much smaller, but now let's look at who we're making content for. And I'd like to focus on the general MMO content style, overviews of many games, and not specializing into a single game yet. An MMO is designed to be played for many hundreds or thousands of hours. They are multi-year long experiences, and because of this, it's difficult to fully commit to multiple. If you're playing World of Warcraft for 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, you're not going to be able to find the time to also play 8 hours
What is
of
he
The Elder
playing
Scrolls
right now?
Online every day, and Guild Wars 2 and RuneScape. This means the most hardcore players of any MMO are often committed to that one game. While they may dabble in others, they do not know it to the extent of their main game. They know every aspect of
Oh, that was Guild
game.
Wars?
They are,
Okay.
in effect, an authority on that game. The real danger with extreme fans is when that game becomes more than a game to them. It becomes a character trait, a lifestyle, or in extreme cases, a lifeline. MMOs are designed to be able to exploit addictive personalities, and in some cases, players with antisocial personalities
Hold on. I'm gonna rewind that really quick.
to be able to exploit addictive person, or in extreme cases, a lifeline. MMOs are designed to be able to exploit.
Did you say aren't or are designed? Because I feel like in some ways they kind of are a tad addictive, right? Are. Okay. Yeah. I was about. I thought you said aren't. I was like, there's no way. Like they're not designed like around addictive personality traits, dude. Because God, I have been so addicted to this game. I am just now breaking out of the addiction, you know. And it's because oh God. But to be fair, like I'm a little jaded, right? Like I've been playing the game for fucking 9 fucking years. So I'm finally at the point where it's like, okay, maybe it's time I try some other things on the side while playing this game. You know, I don't have to quit the game to have fun on other games. But man, for like a good 8 years, I didn't care about anything else but Final Fantasy.
2 months, so signal the start of something great. Hot Sprout.
Yo, Zober, hey bud, thanks for 2 months. Welcome back. Thank you, man. What's your playtime? I'm creeping up on 1,000 days. I'm like 930, 930 or 940 around there. It's a lot. It's a lot. But yeah, no, MMOs are fucking super addictive. I mean, just look at WoW, right? Just look at WoW. I feel like WoW players who are actually still playing the game regularly or honestly, like religiously today, those guys are probably the best examples of addictive MMO players, you know? Like those guys, like they've stuck around in their game through the worst, you know? Like all of his controversy, all that nonsense, all that abuse that those guys take, and they continue to play. You know, Stockholm Syndrome at its best. You know? I'm a cuck. Oh, man.
Addictive personalities, and in some cases, players with antisocial personalities or social issues in real life will retreat into the MMO world, and the MMO world can become more real to them than reality, meaning any critique or review of their MMO is seen as a personal attack against them. Now, all hobbies have the toxic extremist.
Oh man, that's so true. I'm so sorry to keep on pausing it, dude. We're only at 15 minutes, but like that's so true. Dude, he has to stop making such good points that I want to talk about. Fuck. You know, like Final Fantasy players. I mean, this kind of like goes back to the tribalism, right? Like, or honestly, like it's a little patriotic in a way. You know, like you really want to defend your home turf, your game. You know, so if WoW Andy comes around talking some hot shit, you want to beat their ass because this is your game. I feel it, I guess.
2 months more to for a whole year. Been such a good time since Haru Buddy.
Oh my gosh, Tengu, thanks for the 10. Welcome back, man. Thank you. So yeah, it's definitely true, and like you'd be a fool to think otherwise, you know? Like I'm not gonna I'm willing to take off the rose-colored glasses to realize how some of us behave, you know, and we're not the only ones who are acting this way either. It happens with all these games, you know. It happens with WoW. And honestly, it even happens within the same game, you know, like Civil War type shit between different players, you know, like PvE, hardcore players, casuals, and PvPers, you know, like a lot of these players actually all have, I wouldn't say all of them, but like quite a few of them have problems with each other, but they play the same game, You know, so it's just how it is. Or like you could even say the same for WoW with their factions, you know. And that's at the fault of the fucking devs for making the game that way. it creates video game racism, you know? It's fucking weird. It's weird.
It's within them. But the MMO genre is uniquely designed to be played for thousands of hours and to give you a second reality to immerse yourself in. While hobbies such as painting or running or cooking can be immersive and people can certainly build personalities around them, they don't encourage or facilitate the creation of a totally separate reality in the way MMOs do. This can lead to hardcore players becoming so deeply isolated within their game's subculture that it can begin to feel like the game is the biggest thing in the world. Everyone they know plays it. Everyone they know likes it. Existing
That's a really
within
good
that
point.
social bubble of an MMO game can slowly warp a player's perception of how important that game is or status within that game is to everyone else. And then a reviewer or content creator comes along and makes a video on that game. Unless that reviewer is one of the hardcore fans themselves and already has thousands of hours in that game, the fans will look at the review and ask, what gives you the authority to review my game? Hardcore fans will want to be represented and critiqued by someone just as experienced and committed as them. And while that's totally understandable from a gaming content perspective, it can mean any review from a reviewer with fewer hours invested than the hardcore player base gets immediately discarded. Hobbies are of course important.
True.
And a variety of hobbies allows you to experience a variety of things in your life, but a hobby should always enhance your life and not become it or trap it. Extended time inside a virtual world can sometimes blur the lines between virtual and reality.
Dude, it's crazy that he says that because, okay, so I mentioned it earlier, right? But like I got a 3D model and I'm waiting for my VR headset and I'm going to be trying virtual reality for the very first time very soon. But I've been watching a lot of videos. I've been trying to educate myself, right? And I've learned that, I mean, you could say the same for like MMOs or like other games. They offer the same like virtual escape, right? But virtual reality is even crazier, dude. Like that shit is crazy, man. It's insane. I watched a couple of documentaries and some people, dude, like some people's like they'll wake up. Okay. They'll wake up, they'll put on their VR headset, they'll play all day, and then they'll go to sleep in VR. And then they'll wake up in VR. And then they continue their day in VR. Yeah, it's like Sword Art. Yeah. They live in VR. And that shit is incredible. Like, it's crazy. You know, like I mean, it may be pretty unhealthy, honestly. Like after saying it out loud, it sounds really unhealthy. But like, it's crazy, man. The metaverse, yeah, dude. That shit blows my mind. You know, it's wild. It really takes it a step further.
I'm not saying you shouldn't be proud of the achievements you have within games, but you shouldn't confuse them with meaningful life progression outside of the game. When an MMO game becomes someone's main source of socializing or of personal pride through virtual achievements, reviews, especially negative ones, can be met with extreme, abusive, or in some cases dangerous backlash.
Yeah.
I think I've been dealing with that for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Probably longer than that. I think it's just the case is because it's, again, like it's what you said, whenever you attack the game, you attack their identity, because so much of their identity is tied up with the game that whenever you say that this game is bad, well, whenever you've invested 10,000 hours into a game, but then somebody tells you that it's bad, you start getting a little bit of effectively buyer's remorse. What did I spend 10,000 of my hours for? What did I spend my life on the past 10 years? If it's bad, you can't tell me that I wasted all my time on something that's bad. So I think people do take it very personally. I think that also content creators, there are just some nuances to making content with like MMOs that are more unique than that would be for other genres. So like, for example, you know, people gift you items and people are able to like help you get certain things. And I think that does create a certain amount of animosity with people that want to use MMOs and video games as a whole, is that video games used to be that great equalizer for a lot of people who didn't necessarily have a lot of opportunities to maybe be successful in real life or do something, you know, that's noteworthy in real life. They could go to a video game and be put on an even playing field with somebody who made $1 million a year or somebody who was 6'8" or something like that.
Unless you play Lost Ark, you things are a little different over there.
The big issue with the hyper enfranchised players, and I was
He has a lot of good points
I've
though.
been
Yeah.
covering Warframe for honestly a large part of it. I was out of touch with the usual player, and I feel like that's where most people will get to whenever you have spent.
Honestly, Lost Ark isn't even that bad. Like Lost Ark isn't even that bad anymore, right? Like so I've heard. Like I feel like the one to really blame these days is that fucking that Diablo game. Wait, does anyone even still play that game anymore? Fucking Diablo Immortal. Does anyone even still play that? Honestly, like that's why I say okay, listen, I'm sure Lost Ark still is pretty bad in its own ways, but like Diablo Immortal, dude, like that takes the cake. Like Diablo Immortal makes Lost Ark look like an angel. So bad, dude. What the fuck? It blows my mind that people have invested so much money to that game. Rich Campbell, how the fuck does Rich still play it, man? Rich is a weird guy, dude. Like he does whatever the fuck he wants, and I respect that much. At least he just does what he feels like doing, even if it's not the most respectable thing, you know. 100K. Okay, never mind. I take that back.
Learning how to play it, and you spend a lot of time around these friend groups, like you said, that are also in the game and very experienced. You can begin to see yourself as being the average player, when in most cases, if you're a long-term member of a community that is spending, multiple days a week on a game, you are not the average player of that game. And the other side of that, which is the much more unreasonable and very toxic, which is that you will begin to view yourself as the player that matters most, where your feedback is the one that's important. It's the one that the devs should pay attention to. The new content should be for you.
An MMO becomes your second life. This is where you want to spend all your time. And with MMOs just shifting and dying constantly, it's like this big cycle of just churning through the next MMO. People don't want their MMO that they've found as a home to die, and that they almost like protect it like a child. And it leads to, like you've said this before, tribalism, where
dude, I can relate to that so much. When Lost Ark first started popping the fuck off, and so many of my friends went, honestly, that's kind of why like I stopped hanging out with Savix and his group. It's because they all went to play Lost Ark. I didn't want to play Lost Ark, man. I played it a little bit and it was fine. I actually thought it was a pretty alright game. But I just couldn't find myself sticking to it, Final Fantasy was the game for me. Your video? Yeah. Like I even made a video like with just describing the way I felt, And I felt like so many of my friends went on to Lost Ark, and I felt like Final Fantasy died, And it definitely wasn't that. It wasn't that the game had died. It's just the game was still going super strong. It was that I lost Ark. Oh my god. Yo, what's up, Ferz? How you doing, man? It was that my friends were just trying something new, Granted, a lot of them did stick to that game. Rest in peace, Like they've gone to whatever that is over there. But yeah, man, it's just it sucks. It makes you feel like your game is dying, but it's not actually. Final Fantasy was never really dying. It's just unfortunately like my friends just happened to really want to play Lost Ark for a very long time, and then I kind of lost a lot of contact with them. We weren't really like socializing or hanging out like we used to. And dude, I even got kicked from their Discord server, man. Like we had like a little friend group server. I got fucking kicked from it, man. It's because I didn't want to. I didn't really want to hang out in there. It wasn't because like I didn't want to hang out with them. It's because I just didn't want to play Lost Ark. And I'm not sure if it's like they had a problem with me or anything. I think it's just the inactivity. Like in all fairness, I was super inactive. So like I wasn't really like shaken up by it. I was like, I wasn't really logging in or like hopping on voice anyway. But like that did happen, dude. That did happen. Game hopping can be really harsh on some friend groups. It sucks. They're not real friends. I guess not, man. But at the end of the day, I still do think Savix and his friend and his group are cool. It just sucks that Lost Ark wasn't, the game for me. He's still a great guy. I love Savix, Dude has a heart of gold. But yeah. To whoever fucking kicked me from that Discord server, I know you fucking did it. And I sent you a DM about it too, and you didn't respond. Yeah, I know. And I'm telling my stream, that's right. I'm ratting your ass out, boy.
Your opinion may be completely valid, but they don't want it to be valid. If there are big flaws in a game like New World, which there were, we both exposed humongous flaws with that game. The community will rally and try and, pull it under their wing and protect it and say, yeah, but it's early days, where we're actually advocating for them to get a better version of the game that they bought, you know, the version that they were promised. But they don't see it that way. They see it as us, you know, slowly knocking the nail into the coffin.
Have I felt the sting from the MMO community? Well, yeah, like not maybe just their identity, but it's their community. The perception that you might be preventing others from checking out their game, there's a risk. It's this weird gatekeeping mentality where you're going to say what we want you to say within this, here's the approved space. And we're also not going to we're not going to talk about it in this way because we don't want these type of players, you know, coming into.
Dude, it's hot as fuck. I'm gonna go turn on the AC really quick, but I'm gonna leave the video playing for you guys. Okay, how's your day going? It's going great, man. It's going great. I slept in. All right, I'll be back in 1 sec, but I'll leave the video. Yo, fill me in if something exciting happens.
Our space,
it's hot as balls.
I want and I believe that honesty and authenticity within content is more important than somebody's feelings about a game.
I'm not sure I'd say that it's drastically more. I think maybe percentages. I think once you get into like the hardcores, then probably, and there probably are more hardcores in MMOs just because of the time investment. But yeah, I think it's probably worse than other games in general. I would just say just do whatever makes you happy and then just don't read the comments.
There were death threats a few years ago when I made a negative video about Final Fantasy XIV. The video was awful, to be fair, but still.
So gaming was an outlet for me. I made a lot of friends in them. I ended up preferring that to the life that I was living. So I can understand how these people are going from their life. You know, they might work a 9-to-5 job that they hate. They come home and they get into this game where there's someone powerful. The kind of scene that we paint is different to the grand image that they have of the game. So I can understand how they feel that we're personally attacking like a major part of their life with regards to how that's going to potentially affect new content creators. If your views don't necessarily align with the vocal majority, then they are going to crucify you.
Hello?
It doesn't matter what you say, what kind of defense that you have, they will hate on you and attack your views and your opinions regardless.
So I feel like you and I both probably have a similar answer in the sense that we probably have a lot of experiences with this sort of thing. So I'm going to try to keep it as short as I can because unfortunately we both have series that basically, even just by reading the name, can make you mad. Negative experiences that come to mind for me specifically have to be Final Fantasy XIV fans.
Wait, what? Wait, hold on. What did you say?
Specifically have to be Final Fantasy XIV fans.
Really?
In almost any capacity. They mean well, but sometimes by meaning well, they do so much harm. And I think that that's obviously something we're probably talking about here in a sense, is that hyper-enfranchised fans can actually make their game a lot less accessible. So I'll say like Final Fantasy XIV fans were an example of that. And also,
it's not my fault you skip cutscenes and you hate Kakarot, man. Listen, it's not my fault, okay? You just happen to be the worst kind of person and I hate you for it. Don't play my game. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Play the fucking game. None of that shit matters, dude. Who cares what other people think? Just play the game. It's fun, I swear. Nobody actually cares that much. It's all just a joke. I hope.
Find it a lot in roleplay centric games, like SWTOR, for example. It's a very roleplay centric game. So for role players, they're looking and trying to play the game in a completely different way. So they don't care about a lot of the same concerns that I might have, or you might have, or someone else might have, right? Who's playing it for more than just roleplay.
I've got quite a unique position, I think, creating content with World of Warcraft, because the overall perspective of WoW is quite negative. You know, franchise fans
it is
actually not liking the game. And so when I do say something positive about the game, because the game is actually really good in certain...
Ew! You like World of Warcraft, Matt? Ew! Oh! Do you happen to also like milk? Oh my god, let's not even go there.
Elements?
Oh
they
no.
don't like that. If you think something else is good or something else is bad, your opinion is invalidated. If your opinion doesn't follow the core group opinion of the game, you're alienated. And it almost feels like you're causing trouble by speaking your mind. It's kind of like going against the grain. And if you go
Yeah.
against what they are already thinking, then it doesn't matter what you say. Your opinion's invalidated. It doesn't mean anything because it's not what they already think of the game.
I really want to try out the transmog systems. Like Brendan just mentioned, like they have a couple like really good systems, like their transmog system, and I honestly really want to like experience it firsthand because I've heard stories of it, you know, like how good it is. And Final Fantasy is all right, but what kills Final Fantasy's fucking glamour system or transmog system is the fact that if you want to have like a complete outfit you want to equip within just like 1 click or 2 clicks, you have to set up this glamour in the glamour dresser, right? And you have to put all this gear into it, and it's limited. There's a limit. You can't have that much. For crying out loud, I was using the glamour dresser to fucking free up my inventory. You know, I'm probably not going to use a good majority of that glamour, but I just wanted to get it the fuck out of my inventory and then maybe use it someday, right? But I can't even do that because it's so limited. There's not enough slots. There's not enough fucking slots.
Yeah, this is an absolute classic one. This is a topic I actually really like to talk about on stream. I try and push back against it as much as I possibly can because I think it's ultimately incredibly self-destructive, actually, to MMO communities. Like when you look at, you know, if you look at a game and you go, wait, these guys are like a cult, or you go like, wait, do I really want to play? Do I want to get into this? This looks a little bit weird, right? And for sure, I definitely think this happens with MMOs a fair bit, right? And I think you hit the nail on the head, right? It's because it's such a big part of your identity, right? A big part of your life. You're like, wait, have I wasted my time? Did I pick the wrong game? What am I doing, right? This is not, you know, this isn't right. This can't be right. You know, this is my game. I play this game. So, or if you are.
Nah, man, I never felt like I picked the wrong game a second of any day where I logged on. I mean, there were a couple times where I was like, this content's dog shit, but that didn't make me feel like I wasted my time, right? Like my money. Like, listen, all they needed to win me over were cat girls, man. That was enough for me. I'll pay up, bro. I'll pay up. $15? That's nothing, man. For cat girls, let's go, dude. Yeah, I don't know. Like for Final Fantasy, since the very beginning, I felt like I've gotten my money's worth, you know? There have definitely been a couple like moments where I wasn't playing so much and I could have potentially unsubbed. No, that's not true, man. I log in at least 3 times a week. At least 3 times a week. You know, the longest I've ever gone without logging in was probably 2 weeks, and that's because I was on vacation somewhere, you know? Like I physically could not log in, but for the most part, if I have a means to log in, I will fucking log in, dude. I'll do an expert roulette. It doesn't matter, man. Like those roulettes don't even matter that much once you finish your weeklies. But I just want to play the game. It's fun, you know. Like it's just nice to be online, and maybe that's where it kind of starts to feel like an addiction, right? Because it's like, okay, there's really no reason to be on, but I want to be on. I just want to. I feel at home when I log on, you know. I feel like I bought the wrong game when I bought a collector's edition of Watch Dogs, bro. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to hear that, man. But you guys feel me on that one? Like it's weird, man. Like it was so severe to the point where like I have not missed a month of my subscription since A Realm Reborn launched. Like I've been playing since the beta of ARR, and I haven't stopped paying my sub since. So, like, what does that say about me, you know?
Are going to be very critical of the game. It's not going to be interpreted in good faith, and that's putting it politely.
My latest upload on Starbase, right? And it's a self-proclaimed MMO, right? They say that it's an MMO, make your own fun kind of thing. A player-based economy. It's all about the players. Now, the game was already kind of dead. I mean, it's on life support, okay? So with about, let's say, 200 players max, even then, I was terrified because the amount of hours you would need and the amount of hours you see on some reviews, you know, coming up to nearly thousands of hours, you look at that and you think to yourself, well, I'm coming in, I want to tell a story. I also don't have thousands of hours to make this video. I don't want to risk just looking at links online and trying to put 2 and 2 together and missing something else that's hidden that everyone's going to call me out on. Why not just speak to the community? Almost kind of turned into, well, yes, this game has gone downhill, but there is a really good community behind it.
Is I think we get really tribalistic because we've allowed this hobby to become maybe more of our life than it should be. Escapism on its own is healthy. I think it's nice to be able to get out of your own skin from time to time, and every hobby does it. But I think when you let it get to the point that you need to like physically threaten or attack somebody, I don't know where the line is, but you're way past it.
MMOs are
I feel like that kind of like comes into play with more than just games, right? Like workaholics, for example, right? Those dudes do not know when to stop. Granted, like it's only beneficial, for their bank account, but think about like their health, right? Like their physical and their mental health. Like, dude, it's just that shit takes over your life. And the same can happen in a video game. Granted, like one is just you could argue that the other one is much better, like working, too much rather than playing too much, but I feel that like if we enjoy something or just want something from something, we tend to spend a lot of time, right, in that activity, and then over time it just becomes regular. Like you're just familiar with it and you just keep on coming back to it. Like my sister, for example, she's perfectly fine with her financial situation, but she just doesn't know what to do with herself whenever she's like not working. Like she has friends at work that she hangs out with while she's working. She would rather go to work to hang out and work at the same time than be at home and watch TV and relax, sleep in, And it's just, she doesn't know what to do with herself whenever she's not working. It's crazy. And that's how I feel about gaming, dude. Like whenever I'm not gaming, I'm just like, what do I do with my life? That's crazy.
Unique in that they do tend to encourage that human nature that tends to want to join a tribe and protect the tribe and be part of the tribe because they're so community driven, because they're so social. That's the thing that really makes MMOs unique. And it is a double-edged sword for sure. There are people who do make the MMO that they're playing their whole identity, their whole personality revolves around that. And so recently we've seen some problems with that. But there is definitely a subset of MMO players that
personality. So tell me about yourself. Yeah, I play Final Fantasy 14. Yeah, I play a cat girl. Yeah, I'm a triple legend. Okay, double legend.
It's us versus them. It is our tribe against the other tribe, which is bizarre and unsettling because they forget, this is a product.
If you do decide to create content within the MMO world, either on YouTube or Twitch, you've got two basic channel types. There are variations between these, but broadly, you'll either be general genre focused or specific game focused. General creators are able to give a broad overview of the genre at the expense of specialist knowledge within each game. These are creators like myself, The Lazy Peon, or Kira TV. We're able to paint with a broad brush, but this can mean missing the finer details. So instead of being a general MMO creator, you could specialize into a single game. It's absolutely possible to do. Many people have found YouTube and Twitch success as champions of their chosen game. Zeppler plays Final Fantasy XIV, The Mighty Teapot plays Guild Wars 2, Brozine plays Warframe, and each of them have lots of detailed content around that specific game, but even specializing is not without risks. The benefits of specializing are the community come to see you as an authority, and you're always able to make very specific, nuanced content. You're able to fully explore the depths of a game's systems that a general creator will miss or not have the time to explore. But the risks are how you are connecting your YouTube or your Twitch or even yourself as a level of celebrity to this game specifically.
Yeah, I feel like specializing in a single game, especially in MMO, actually makes it quite difficult on the content creator to expand onto different themes or games or whatever, right? It's partly why, or honestly, it's majority of the reason why I don't really do a whole lot of variety on my stream, and it's because if I were the viewer watching my stream, I would low key expect a Final Fantasy stream, and I'm sure there are plenty of viewers who watch for the creator, the personality, or whatever, and they just want to watch them stream. Doesn't matter what game it is. I can acknowledge that, and I really appreciate that, but it is something that exists, it's just the fear of losing out, it's like on variety. Like you'll try variety because it sounds very fun and refreshing, and you see these other streamers do it and they're so successful, and you want to be like them, and you want to have a good time and play whatever the fuck you want. It sounds like a fucking dream, but it's not that easy. It's really not that easy, especially when you specialize in a game, right? Because that's what you're known for. And the moment you stop doing that, you lose a pretty big percentage of your viewer base, and it makes it difficult to continue on with this occupation, and that's why it's risky. And risks are not bad to take, but I feel like there are ways you can go about it to minimize like the risk and control that damage, right? Like I feel like if you want to do variety, maybe. Okay, I feel like Lucy's a really good example, right? Like Lucy primarily makes Final Fantasy videos, right? But like she's been dabbling a little bit in variety. And if you look at her channel, she still uploads Final Fantasy videos mostly, and she still streams Final Fantasy mostly. But she's slowly getting her audience like used to watching a little bit of variety, you know? And then she's also building like a name for herself as a variety streamer while still specializing in Final Fantasy. Like I feel like Lucy actually has this shit downloaded. Like she has it downloaded. And look at how successful she is in both variety and Final Fantasy. You know? It's actually kind of crazy how she just understands it, you know? Like you could be like other streamers and just make it easy on yourself and just stick to that game, but after a while it's like, oh dude, what if I want to play Minecraft? You know, like fuck. I can't do that. But I'm still experimenting with content creation. I've only been doing this shit for like a year. So there's still so much that I don't know, and there's still so much that I've missed, you know, that I could have known sooner, that I just haven't really paid attention to. It's weird how it works. Content creation is actually quite complicated, and I'm not gonna fucking bore you to death with it, but it's weird, man. It's weird.
Binding your career to it, and if the game fails, so do you. The larger specialized channels we have now are very talented, and they also happen to choose the correct games to bind themselves to find success. If WildStar had just released and you went all in on being a WildStar content creator, you're going to be pretty unhappy when the game shuts down and your YouTube back catalogue is now irrelevant, or the Twitch streams you've been relying on for income suddenly see a massive drop in viewership because the game people know you for is gone, and people valued the game more than you. Specializing into a single game as a full-time creator is only an advantage if the audience who cares about your specialist knowledge is large enough to sustain you. Every time
I feel like that's honestly a big reason why Asmon is so fucking successful, because like yeah, he is the WoW guy, right? But nowadays he's the MMO guy. You know, he still is the WoW guy, but he's also the MMO guy. You know, and now he's also doing a little bit of variety as well. So like, but no, but then there's also an entire group of people who know him as the Johnny Depp trial guy. Yeah, the Johnny Depp trial guy. Yeah, and he's also the React guy. He's done everything now. You know, like he actually blossomed into something that it has so much variance. He does like everything now, dude. He reacts. He's like. Sometimes he's kind of like a political streamer in a way. Like he's almost like Hassan at times with like the themes that they discuss on his stream. God damn, he does so fucking much. It's crazy. And for crying out loud, he has like 5-hour intros where he just talks about whatever the fuck. Then debates people with him being an FF14 player. Yeah.
The new MMO comes out, we see waves of people decide this is the one. They specialize and they build careers up around Terra, or Elion, or Neverwinter, or more recently, New World. And if the game flops, so do they. Now, New World is still going, but the creators are not seeing anywhere near the amount of views they were when the game first released.
You know what's crazy is that's not always the case. So let me give you guys an example. Do you guys know who Stoops is by chance? He used to be a WoW creator, and with the release of Lost Ark, he swapped over to Lost Ark. And what do you know? Dude exploded. He's like the face of North American Lost Ark players, right? Like the Lost Ark clickbait the Lost Ark clickbait guy. That's him. Yeah, but like look at him. He's way more successful than he ever was, from what I was able to tell at least. Like I didn't watch him too much before all that happened, but before Lost Ark came out, he was still doing a WoW a little bit, and he was doing good for himself. But like now he's like, dog, like come on, man. Like he's like between 4 and 6K Andy on Twitch now, dude. Like he's solid, man. Like he is comfortable, you know. And the point I'm trying to make is it's possible, but I feel like you need to migrate to a game that you can still use your skill set in, right? Like I feel like I would probably be able to do all right in WoW because at least it's somewhat similar to Final Fantasy, you know. but I don't know if I could really do Lost Ark that well. I'd be able to enjoy the waifus just as much, but I'm a clicker, my dude. Like, I'm a clicker, you know? How the fuck am I gonna survive in Lost Ark? Granted, when I played it, I had no issues with the controls, but it took some time to get used to. Dude, I almost even tried playing with controller. What the fuck? You can click a ton in Minecraft? Yeah, you can. It's not the same. It's not the same.
General MMO content creators know this and have to make a decision on general versus specialist. For example, while I'll happily make a silly video on, say, Swords of Legend Online, I won't pour thousands
this game was
of hours into
fucking
it to become a
terrible.
specialist before I do, because I simply do not think that would be a smart use of my time. I am aware this means my content will sometimes miss the more esoteric details of a game and anger the player base for it, but that's a choice I've made.
As soon as you see like a game losing popularity, you can look at the directory and see that all of the people that used to be getting, you know, like say 5,000 viewers, now they're getting 1,000 viewers, and it just keeps going down. So I think that the biggest risk whenever you're becoming a specialized content creator is that whenever you are playing a game that doesn't really have an audience large enough to necessitate you only playing that game. So for example, people that only play Minecraft, they can do it because Minecraft is like the biggest game in the world. People that play Fortnite, many of them can do it too. But I think that once you get into smaller games with smaller audiences, that's whenever it becomes less sustainable and a lot more volatile, because you're much more at the whims of the current state of that individual game. Like, I know this for WoW, is that in WoW, like, there would be sometimes back in like Legion where I'd have, you know, 10,000 viewers, or I think during the Tomb of Sargeras release, I had 25,000 viewers. It was insane. And then the next couple of days, I went back down to 4. And so that's a huge difference. And that's what happens whenever you're just making content for one specific game, is that your popularity is tied to that game.
The reason that I started...
Dude, MSQ in a nutshell, man. Like, I'm sure you guys have noticed, but if you are a regular Final Fantasy viewer on Twitch, surely you've noticed that a lot of MSQ streamers, once they complete the MSQ, they experience quite a bit of a dip, you know? And that's because once they finish the MSQ, they get lumped in with streamers like me who aren't doing MSQ, you know? MSQ is arguably the most exciting piece of content that Final Fantasy XIV has to offer, you know? And what do you do after that? Raid, craft, gather, you know, like do whatever mundane tasks the game has for you. But the thing is, this game has so much room for creativity, and I feel like LooterCon is a perfect example of that. Like, it's proof, you know, it's proof that there is plenty of room for it. Like, they, for crying out loud, they held an entire convention / festival where tons of different creators came around and then did like just super unique things together, you know? Like, I don't know if you guys saw Pint's LooterCon thing, but that was pretty crazy. They did like a big presentation, and I have never seen anything quite like that with the way that they executed it. They had like different camera angles, and they had like a green screen in their fucking house, with a live audience, not only on Twitch, but in their house. Like, you could come to their ward and just spectate. It was so fucking cool. And listening to him talk about it, like, he has plans to do more of that in the future, right? Like we would talk about it, and he would kind of sit there like and talk to me, and he would ask, he'd like, dude, what the fuck do I do after MSQ, you know? And all I could tell him was, I don't know, man. I don't know. And he was at the point where he was like, I think I can see a reality where I stop streaming and I just only make YouTube videos, because it's just so much easier to make content, like unique and creative content for YouTube. And I was like, yeah, that's true, especially with his skill set, you know? But once he kind of came up with this idea and we all saw how well it was executed, well, there you go. Now he has a completely new avenue for content creation on Twitch, you know? It doesn't have to just be raid. It doesn't have to just be glamour contests or RP or party DJ housing events, you know? Like, he can do something completely different. And It's inspiring. It's inspiring. It's very inspiring. I think other content creators, including myself, should take notes. You know, I want to do shit like that as well. And I was doing like that little podcast. I mean, the podcasts aren't the most unique thing, and like it's not the most groundbreaking theme in the world. But that's on hold for now. There's just a lot of different ideas that a lot of people haven't tried, I feel. And I want to try some, man. I want to try something different, dude. Like once, I feel like the test for me is gonna be once I complete this mentor grind, I'll figure something out. Wait, are you giving up on the podcast? No, I'm not giving up on the podcast. It's just it's on hold indefinitely for now because Kogan had to step down, and I don't have a co-host anymore. So I need to find another one, and maybe we'll get the show on the road again. But until then, I'm just streaming. What's up, Zay? How you doing?
Started creating content the way that I do, which is entirely about Warframe, is because I completed Warframe. I decided that the end game of Warframe now for me, which is still a thing that was up for debate, the end game for me now is that I am a content creator now, and I am going to help the new players. I became that type of creator purely based on the love of the game, and whether or not it was going to succeed or fail, I was just
planning on playing Warframe, and hell no.
I really like Warframe a lot. It is my favorite game. The difference for general creation is that you do get, you know, a much more narrow view at any game, and the unfortunate bit about that is that it means that if you do stumble across that game, like if you stumble across your Warframe, you probably won't be able to spend as much time with it as you'd really want to, and also it would be hard to focus in your, you know, large general audience into the specifics of what you now want to get into.
It's a tough.
What's ironic is okay, so MMOs like Final Fantasy, I'm sure everyone fucking knows games like these are prone to experiencing content droughts, and really bad ones, heavy, especially now more than ever in this expansion, because before the patch cycles were like every 3 months there'd be a major patch, right? Now it's every 4 months, so the content drought is even longer than it used to be. It's extended by an entire fucking month or half a month, however long it is. But what's funny about that is I feel like content droughts are the best time to make like fun, unique, and exciting content for YouTube, and honestly maybe Twitch as well. I feel like Twitch is on, like I feel like you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot during content droughts on Twitch, because a lot of people are already trying other things, you know, and they don't they don't really feel like dedicating as much time into the streams. But I feel like it's easier to watch a video during a content drought, especially if it's something that's different, you know. So I feel like during like an exciting patch drop, you focus on that content, right? That like they dropped, and you can stream it, you can make videos on it, yada yada yada. Once it's all like once you squeezed all the juice out, that's when you start making something like unique and fresh, you know, when people are like desperate for something fun, something new, different, because they've been raiding for like the past 3 months and they want something new, you know. So I feel like maybe I can come up with some sort of schedule around that, and have something fun for the boring periods of the game, you know, because content droughts are fucking awful, man. It's just a part of the MMO cycle, you know, like every 3-4 months, it gets a little dry for like a month or two, and then content drops, it's popping for a month, maybe a month and a half, 2 months, and then boom, it's dry again. It's just a never-ending fucking cycle, and it sucks. And it's a lot more challenging for content creators as well, I feel.
Thing to do, because as you said, you miss out on some of the more specific details that, you know, hyper fans of that game would expect to see. But at the same time, you actually have a lot more knowledge of the general genre, and that can be invaluable in the sense that when I'm reviewing New World, I can use my knowledge of Mortal Online, my knowledge of RuneScape and not Terra anymore, but any of those games as a kind of cross-reference, right? I can review it in a more unbiased way. However, you are correct in the sense that being a specialized content creator gives you all these extra details.
Terra, yeah.
Information that's super important to a lot of people. If a content creator starts out with New World and they ride the massive hype train at the beginning, they're going to come crashing down with it as well. If they don't diversify, it's like, you know, the saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
I think algorithmically, you're setting yourself up for a world of depression and anxiety and even mental health problems that they're going to challenge you and push you and make you question your own sanity. So the thing about being generalized, it's very valuable to your mental health. The thing about being specific is that as a career, that's a niche within a niche within a niche within a niche.
Okay, Ginger actually sounding a little based right now. What the good take?
And so the solution
It's
that I've
true.
actually developed is actually what I do is multi-channel. So I have a New World focused channel. I have a Final Fantasy focused channel. When it comes down to it, like, yeah, I think a handful of games is the best way, but algorithm.
Oh, okay, but at the same time, I feel like that's exhausting, dude. Like, you have to build so many channels from the dirt, the mud, dude, from the ground up. You know? Like, I want to put all my energy into, like, my main channel and maybe a little bit into, like, an alt channel, right? I feel like that's a good way to go about it. But having, like, 5 channels for 5 different games? Oh, dude. You know? And then like it creates this thing where like what if one of the channels that like you don't put okay, let's say, for example, let's say I had a Final Fantasy channel, a WoW channel, a Lost Ark channel. Okay, let's just say I had those 3, right? And my favorite channel, the one I put the most love, like blood, sweat, and tears into, is the Final Fantasy one, right? And let's say that my WoW one just starts blossoming and it's way more successful. And if I want to be financially stable, I need to put way more effort and like just way more love into this WoW channel, right? When Final Fantasy is my main one, that actually kind of sucks. And this is simply just a hypothetical, but like it's not real, but it could very well happen, you know? So that kind of sucks. So I feel like it's always hard, dude. Like I don't know if you're ever really winning. Like you just need to find a compromise, you know, that works best. Because I feel like they all have their pros and their cons, but like which one has the least cons? You know, like which method, which strat?
Technically, you have to actually multi-channel because the algorithm is going to hit you.
You have more freedom to do whatever you want because it's not just tying your channel to that game. It's also tying that you have to make videos about that game, which means if you stop enjoying it, then you know what else are you going to do? You're going to have to pivot at some point, or like you say, your channel's going to die. So I think
It's
the
true.
benefit is just having more freedom to do whatever you want.
The benefits of specializing are if a top tier MMO ever does come out that you get hooked into, then there's new content with every update and you become the authority figure of that game, and you'll likely be invited to community events or even get offered a community manager backup job, as has happened with RuneScape and Guild Wars 2 content creators in the past. Because you're a niche within a niche, and you'll find it easier to grow your content than immediately starting out with general MMO stuff. However, you will have a harder time branching out later on. The downsides are game-specific MMO channels have limited view potential. If the game dies, so does your channel. And people that know your channel for that game will complain if you try to cover any new games.
If you're dude, that must be so fucking scary and nerve-wracking, like just so anxiety-inducing. If your game dies, it's like fuck, what I do? You know, like that's never happened to me. And granted, I've only been content creating for like a year now, but man, imagine if that happened, man. You're lucky how you branched. Oh wait, what? You're lucky how you branched. Trust me. You have inside friends like Zavix and Pint. Well, Zavix and Pint. Yeah, you know what? That's actually a good point because like they've experienced their game dying, right? I mean, WoW didn't exactly die. It just kind of exploded, right? But like it still managed to stay on its feet. Maybe not both of its feet, but like it's still like standing somehow. So they can definitely give me some. Like they have a lot of insight to offer, and like, I've already asked them plenty of questions, but. At the same time, like I need to be able to like learn things on my own, you know, because if I'm constantly like just looking to other people for the answers, then like what the fuck does that make me? You know, like I need to be able to adapt and do things on my own after a certain while. Like I want to be the guy eventually, who people come and ask questions to, you know. You know, like I don't want to be a little fucking baby that has to be chaperoned all the damn time. But my point earlier was like, imagine if your fucking game dies, what the fuck do you do? You know, like I feel like the timing couldn't have been more perfect for Stoops, right? Because like WoW died and Lost Ark was about to fucking come out, you know, NA. So like that was great. And then it was also perfect for people like Pint and Savix because Endwalker was around the corner, and it was just God, like that was like WoW couldn't have picked a better time to explode, you know? Like that was such a good time for those guys to just bounce off like bounce onto another game, you know? They came out like fucking kings. You know, Savix with his Lost Ark, now he's back to WoW, granted, but like same with Stoops, Lost Ark, Pint, WoW, or Pint's in Final Fantasy now, and like you could say the same for a lot of other creators. There's an Echo guy, I forgot his name, Jeeth, I think his name is. He's still streaming Final Fantasy. I haven't seen any of the other Echo dudes. Wait, is he an Echo? I kind of forget. He's an Echo guy, right? Anyway, people like Scripe and the rest, I haven't seen them stream Final Fantasy since their prog. Did they even complete their DSR prog? I was watching that, man. What the fuck? Why didn't you finish it? I was watching that. Frago played 14 today on stream. Yeah, I did see Frago in the category. He quit WoW. Damn it, man. Oh, wait. Sorry, I read that. I interpreted that as Final Fantasy. He quit WoW. Wait, so who quit WoW? Jeeth? Also, Jeeth quit WoW for Final Fantasy. Wait, so he's not in Echo anymore? Is he still in Echo? Oh, they didn't finish the prog? Damn. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, man. I mean, but at the same time, I'm glad he was able... Wait, what's this? He said he will do hardcore FF in the future. Let's go, man. I'm glad he... Wait, he's still in Echo? Okay. I'm glad he was able to like make that decision for himself, though, you know? Like, rather than just Stockholm Syndrome, still keep on playing the fucking game when we all know it's not the greatest right now. Like, now it's just not a fantastic time to play. Hopefully, Dragonflight's great. Copium, but I'm glad he was able to find a new home in Final Fantasy, you know? Like there's a lot of room for more content creators. We need more, man. We need more. Yo, can someone teach me how to be active on Twitter, dude? Because like I feel like my Twitter is fucking I don't know, dude. It's just the way I use Twitter. I'm more of like a browser. Like I browse Twitter. I look at other people's tweets. I'm not really so much. The thing is, like, I've tweeted pretty well, like pretty good tweets sometimes, like some banger tweets, and it's just like, yeah, I should do this more often. But then I stop because I just like consuming tweets rather than producing tweets. It's weird, dude. It's weird. It's really fucking weird. Try making hashtag horror lust. Nah.
Specialized, you're tying your success to someone else's success, which is always like a risky endeavor. I mean, I always think of say there's this Red Dead Online tips channel. First of all, rest in peace, Red Dead Online. You almost had something. That first year or two was insane potential, and now you see these channels, and every week they're just putting out these very sad, like, here's what to do this week in Red Dead Online, and it's spoiler alert, not a lot. I think going for the general approach which you've done is safer in terms of your own longevity. And like you say, there is definitely that potential for people to disregard your opinion because you haven't, tied yourself down. You haven't married a game per se. Having an authoritative British accent does help. So I can recommend that.
A creator that is sticking to a specific game to make a transition over to another game. I've seen this happen repeatedly in games like Overwatch, where YouTubers that average 20, 40, 50,000 views for their videos, and they're averaging 2,000-3,000 viewers for their streams. They get bored. When they decide that they want to transition over to another game, their viewership drops by 90%.
Or you could just be XQC. You very well could just be XQC and become the biggest fucking Twitch streamer ever. From fucking Overwatch to that. Imagine. What the fuck, dude? Like, seriously? How the fuck did that happen, man? Jeez.
That we've seen people, thousands, drop down to just hundreds of viewers. That is the unfortunate state of, I guess, being like a content creator that focuses on one single specific game. Because if you ever do make that transition, you're essentially killing your career if you pursue it as a career. With regards to having it as more of a general channel, you're also severely limiting yourself because at the same time, people don't necessarily view you as an authority, and therefore they don't choose to go to you for information.
I think actually, contrary to popular belief, most of us started as specialist YouTubers and then kind of branched off to other things. And I think that just makes the most logical sense.
I'm not there yet.
Just like with MMOs, like you're saying, another life. many of us spend so much time in one particular game, so then we become like, okay, let's talk about this game. And like for me, for example, I started a channel in large part on the series based on Galaxies. That was because Galaxies was the game that I had the most experience with. And so then I realized like, oh, okay, like there's actually other ones that I could talk about and other games that I could then cover. Not a lot of MMO players actually play a lot of MMOs. As weird as that sounds, throughout my entire life, I've actually...
It's because they're always playing their MMO. They're always playing their game, you know? I don't play any other MMOs, man. I don't play WoW. I don't play Lost Ark. I play Final Fantasy. And I only want to play Final Fantasy. But I do want to branch out. You know, like one game at a time, though. Like, really, the only one that I'm mildly interested in is WoW. And I hope they drop a good enough expansion for a Final Fantasy player to be able to have a decent experience in it, right? But if it flops, then I'm right back to just being a Final Fantasy Andy, dude. You know, just only Final Fantasy. And I feel like it's definitely healthy to play like more than just one game, so you don't like burn yourself out. Burnout is fucking awful, man. So like if you can patch yourself on that and just give yourself some like variety, then that would definitely be ideal. But like when the variety sucks, like what are you supposed to do, man? Come on, dude. Blizzard, clean up your fucking act, bro. Clean it up. Drop cat girls already, man. Like, what the fuck's so hard about it, man? Jeez. Just drop them. Come on. I've already seen those other races, dude. Come on. I know what you guys are pulling. They don't need that much fur, man. Just you know, a couple cat ears and a tail. That's all they need. Fuck.
Count on my hands the amount of friends I've had that actually play all the MMOs. Like they play everything. And so I think that being a content creator in one particular game, there's a lot of benefit from it. Like you said, you get to look more into the nuance of things versus like what we do, which is sometimes less practical for some people. It's harder to do, harder to be a known entity and then be taken seriously in a bunch of different games. I think that's just really hard to do. Beyond playing a bunch of games, just knowing enough to even be able to approach all of these different games and talk about them in a good way.
If you want to be seen as a professional content creator with a certain amount of authority, then you would focus on a specific game. But the downside of that is not only is your success tied to the success of that game, but also your opinion of that game is incredibly jaded because you've never experienced another MMO in detail at all, so you have nothing to compare it to. You also can never ever satisfy a viewer if you are a general MMO channel, because you are never able to put in the hours, the blood, sweat, tears, dedication that a player that spent hours and hours and hours on that game. You will never be on their level. You will never have their opinion. You will never be able to give them the confirmation bias that they're looking for because you simply don't have the experience.
No, and I feel like what's gonna happen for like if I were to actually give WoW a shot, I would have to constantly remind myself to not fucking compare it so much to Final Fantasy. I feel like I'm gonna be constantly being like, this is bad. This system right here is better than Final Fantasy. Oh, it's so bad, man. Like, oh, you know, I feel like that might ruin the game for me if I constantly try to compare it to its you know, like close relative. Maybe not as close as somebody think, but yeah, like I feel like I'm gonna be having a really hard time doing that, you know, because it's gonna be like, oh, this GCD is weird. You know, like I prefer the slower one in Final Fantasy. I prefer the weaves in Final Fantasy. I'm willing to like ignore the character design in that game, but Asmon does that every 5 minutes. Yeah, like it's just what it is, right? When you've played an MMO for so long and you just love it and it feels so smooth, so crisp, like you can't help but just constantly compare it. So if you compare them a ton and it didn't upset anyone, well, that's the thing. Like I'm not saying it's gonna upset people. Actually, I feel like it could get annoying after a certain point, right? But I feel like the constant comparison would annoy me, right? Like me playing through it, and it's just I'd rather just enjoy it for what it is rather than try to constantly point out what it isn't. You know, I feel like that's kind of unfair to the game almost. Not even almost, like it's really fucking unfair to the poor game, you know, like it's not trying to be that game, it's trying to be its own game, and I just keep on comparing it. That's another thing. Like I feel it all comes back full circles to the tribalism shit, you know, like everyone wants to have the better game and they want to compare it to yada 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 yada. Oh, transmog's better in this game. Oh, ratings better in this game. Gearing's better in this game. You know, progression. Yada yada. New players easier in this game. It list goes on and on and on and on and on. You know, oh, this one's pay to win. This one's not. You know, it's just, it's a lot, dude. It's a really deep iceberg.
In general, most players just play the game a little bit. You know, they might play for a little while, but they might even play multiple MMOs at the same time. So going like super deep into the analysis, that's kind of not exactly what the majority of people are really looking for, right? You want to know, oh, this is how the systems work, right? This is what you can do. These are all the different game modes that you can participate in. That really is the bread and butter of the kind of MMO demographic for sure. In terms of pitfalls, I think you're absolutely right. The big pitfall with general is that you're not going to be seen as this like, oh, mega, yes, this guy knows exactly what he's talking about. And that might actually cause players to potentially dismiss your opinion within that community that you're speaking to.
It's inevitable that that game pretty much links to your success in a lot of ways. When you're looking at just MMOs in general, when you're focusing on a genre, you've got a lot of room to move in, right? And also you can do things like you can step out, I guess, with the NFT situation. That was a really good example of you're talking about something different, but it does still relate to that. So there are those opportunities. So obviously I'm focusing on different genres. That gives me a lot of room.
2 months to my favorite purple-eyed cat girl FF14 streamer.
Hey, yo, Emac, buddy, thanks for the 2 months. Welcome back, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
To breathe. And I did actually think to myself, you know, what does actually make me the authority, or what makes my content, you know, what will make my content worth watching, and why should somebody watch me?
Final Fantasy XIV pays my bills. I play MMORPGs as a
Same,
genre
dude.
that I make content for. I play other games. I like mobile games. I like shooters. I like racing games. But MMORPGs are what I'm known for. If we're just talking analytics, Final Fantasy XIV pays overwhelmingly for my mortgage. I still play Guild Wars at least 1 day a week on stream, and I'm trying to grow that because, A, I think it's important for my own well-being as a gamer and as somebody to have broad things, and B, what happens if Final Fantasy XIV has a down cycle? I have everything tied to Final Fantasy, and so that's really scary because they do have down cycles, and you see them coming. That's the worst part, is as somebody who becomes an expert in either one game or in one genre of that game, if you're tied to PvP seasons or a raid, you know when the content's coming, maybe even before the people watching. You know, I'm making this video, and this is going to be the last big thing that people look forward to for 3 months, 4 months, 8 months, or in some games, they have unpredictable patch cycles. I have no idea how people make full-time livings out of games that don't have a predictable patch cycle.
I mean, by catering...
Dude, I feel like that's really what will put the creator to the test, right? Like the dry cycles. The dry fucking cycles. If you can't survive during a dry cycle, like how are you going to survive the next several expansions? Because it's never ending. It's always like that. Like there's always going to be a point in like the content cycle where there's nothing to do, you know? Or man, like there's shit to do. It's just everyone's already fucking done it, you know? You got they're all in the same fucking boat. They're all looking for some shit to do. So it becomes a little difficult, right? If you feel bored, play other game. Well, yeah, but the thing is, like, that would be easier if I weren't a streamer, right, or a content creator, right? Like if I was just able to play whatever game, not go live, and then just take care of my mental health that way, and not get burnt out of Final Fantasy, then I would do it, you know. But that's not to say I don't have fun making content for Final Fantasy during those burnout phases, right? Because like during the burnout phase, it's usually what happens with streaming. Whenever I do too much men's roulette or too much raiding or too much reacting or whatever the fuck, then I'm just like, oh god, this sucks, right? But that's when scripting becomes a little fun because I start coming up with random ideas that could be made into really exciting and unique videos, you know? Or like I start reacting to other videos and it's just like, or someone comes out with something popping like Lucy or Pine, and it's like, oh fuck, dude, I need to start doing that, you know? So I feel like there's definitely ways and like methods you can use to survive like that. Or you could just be Zeppelin or Xeno and just pop off all the time. You know? That's the end goal. Like to get to that point where it's just like consistent, you know? Like it like obviously nobody wants to hear that like, oh, they're only in it for the money. It's just that let's be real, like the money helps the content creator continue what they're doing, you know? Like if they can't pay their rent, then how the fuck do they have the time to make that content, you know? Makes it much easier to go live more often or drop a video if they can dedicate that much time. Like Pint, for example, the reason he's able to not stream for so long and drop a video as late as he does, it's because those videos pay so fucking well, like from sponsors and everything, that he has enough savings to just live comfortably and just create those videos uninterrupted, you know? Like he doesn't have the constant anxiety and like the looming thought in his mind, like, oh my god, dude, like I'm not gonna be able to pay like next month's rent. Like he's fine, you know, and he can drop another banger and he can just keep that going. Like I said it earlier, he went as far as telling me that he sees the reality where he doesn't stream as much because YouTube is that good, you know? And that's where I was like, bro, what? Like now imagine if you did both, you know? You're full-time content, dude. That's where Lucy's at right now. Like Lucy's at the point where like she's just full-time Twitch and full-time YouTube, bro. I want to do that. I've been a streamer for a year now, a year and a half, mainly. Like I was fortunate enough to be able to build a viewer base primarily on Twitch, or yeah, primarily on Twitch. Like I was about to say only on Twitch, but like I have a couple videos on YouTube. Granted, the majority of them were not like my editing or whatever, but I have a little bit going on there, right? But like that was basically to get the channel moving, right? Eventually, I want to drop some shit so I can make the channel run, you know? I don't know, man. It's a big time sink, but you gotta make risks. And I just made I took a pretty big risk by investing like $2,000 in VR for the sake of higher quality videos, and they're gonna be fucking sick. Who created your model? Asking for a friend. If you scroll down, I have the credits down below, my friend. But yeah, it's actually really fucking hard, man. It's really fucking hard. But I'm not asking for like pity or anything. It's just if you're curious of how it works from a content creator's POV, that's exactly how it is, dude. Especially in an MMO space, it's hard. It's just cycles constantly. Same with Asmon. He's both on YouTube and Twitch. Bro, he's gaming. And he does have his editors. And you wanna know what's crazy about that? His editors, I've heard, I don't know if this is true or not. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I've heard that his editors make all the money from his YouTube because he's so comfortable with Twitch. You know, like Twitch is his baby and his YouTube channel is like his editor's baby. And then he's just there like, yo, good shit, y'all. Good stuff. Does your current model have clothing layers? Like, can she remove her top? No, she cannot remove her top, you little bastard. Shut up. He said that multiple times. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. I think not. He gets a cut. Oh, okay. So he does get a cut. Okay. Unsubbed. Shut up, bro. You love how Asmongold, the editors troll him on YouTube videos? Yeah, like they have a lot of power, and like I love the dynamic they have, you know? Like between editor and the actual creator. Or is like an onion. He has layers. Bro. The difference is I don't make you cry, man. I make you lose.
To you, it's very specific niche. It might be more easy to grow as a small creator compared to trying to tackle everything at once when you're brand new and you don't like nobody really knows who you are yet. So I have the benefit of the Final Fantasy franchise, which seems to have quite a bit of longevity. So I do have a little bit of job security from that aspect. I'm also associated with World of Warcraft, and being associated with a particular developer can help because you might be able to follow where the player base goes as a general content creator, like general MMO content creator, that you are not able to see all the nuance of a particular game. But if you spent more of your free time playing not Guild Wars or not RuneScape, then you would be able to learn more about particular.
Wait, what'd you say about RuneScape?
Of a particular game. But if you spent more of your free time playing not Guild Wars or not RuneScape, then you
come on, lady.
Learn more about particular.
No XP waste, man. I gotta put all of my time, like, just weave in high alks and RuneScape while I'm playing Final Fantasy.
Okay, I'm gonna edit that out, but how dare you?
Yeah, what the fuck?
We're not here to take cheap pot shots at each other. This is not...
That's not right.
This can lead to both types of channels wanting what the other has. The general channels want the admiration and respect from the fanbase that specialist channels command, and the specialist channels want the multi-game appeal and broad channel safety of a general channel. But how can you do both? One trick is to specialize into a single aspect of the genre, so you're still niching down, but not to a specific game. I have my worst MMO ever series, a light-hearted entertainment.
Such a good series, man. It is so fucking good. Oh my gosh. I watched his I forgot what it's called, the Swords Online game or whatever. And I remember so many Final Fantasy streamers. I'm not sure if this was sponsored or whatever, but so like Arthur's, Stahl, Rin, they were all playing Swords Online, and I was like, is that game worth playing? Maybe I should try it. And then one day they just stopped playing it and they went right back to Final Fantasy, right? And then I watched that video. Oh my god, was it a fucking steaming pile of shit? It was so bad, man. Oh, ugh. Disgusting.
Focused journey to play all of the MMOs in a quest to find the worst. It started only playing truly terrible MMOs and has since included some decent ones for reasons I'll explain more in point 5. The Lazy Peon has his first impression videos where he gives a broad overview of the major mechanics in many games and discusses the pros and cons. Kira TV focuses on Kickstarter scams or dodgy integration of crypto within MMOs and then makes longer form essays on why specific games failed. So many general MMO channels still cover multiple games, but now through a slightly more specialized lens without limiting themselves to a single game.
I like that.
Ultimately, there is simply not enough time to become an expert on every single MMO, so a general channel will always be limited in the depth of knowledge, while a specific channel will be limited in its scope of audience. Sometimes people ask me, because I'm a general MMO channel, why haven't I completed every single MMO ever made to endgame? And whenever I'm asked that, I'm reminded of a fantastic line from the TV show NCIS, a show famous for not understanding how technology works. If you haven't seen it, it's the show with the infamous hacking scene, two people trying to type on the same keyboard at the same time to out-hack the hacker. In Season 8, Episode 16, a detective meets a famous gamer. He's expecting a socially inept guy and gets an attractive early 20s woman. The detective says, "Wait a second, you're Max Destructo. You hold the high score in practically every online game." That is, of course, absurd. No one person could hold every high score. In a similar vein, even if a general MMO content creator wanted to finish every MMO, they couldn't do it while also producing the quantity of content the YouTube algorithm demands. And
I feel like 2 to 3 games would probably have to be the limit. If you would want to be that kind of content creator, 2 to 3 MMOs would have to be the limit. For me, I feel like it would have to be 2. You know? Like, if Dragonflight ends up popping off, I can see myself turning into, like, a Final Fantasy and WoW Andy, like, both, right? Obviously, listen, Final Fantasy is always going to be the one for me, man, cat girls. But, like, if WoW ends up being fun... Okay, let me ask you guys this. I feel like I've asked this before, but I always forget. Do raids, or, like, raid releases, do they overlap with both WoW and Final Fantasy, right? Because I've never played it, so I have no idea. Are you really going to be a WoW Andy? No fucking shot. But I would at least want to try the game when it releases, the new one, the extension. Does that mean a second model for WoW? Fuck no, dude. Cat girl everywhere, dude. What the heck? Hell no, bro. Fucking Draenei model, no shot. No shot. Sometimes I see. I feel like if they were alternating, like if those raid releases actually perfectly alternated, then I could see a content creator perfectly executing that kind of channel, right? Like, okay, and people can expect it. Like, oh, the new raid released for Final Fantasy, he's probably mostly gonna drop Final Fantasy content. Oh, the new thing dropped for WoW. There's nothing going on in Final Fantasy, so now he's gonna drop WoW content. You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that could be done very well, but of course the stars have to align and they have to alternate, right? Like that as well. And I feel like a lot of these games share patch days, right? Like Tuesday. I don't know if Tuesday is the patch day for WoW, but it's always been Tuesday for Final Fantasy. And I've played a couple of the games for Tuesday is also the patch day. It is. God damn, what's up with Tuesday, man? Like what's the story with that? There's got to be a story like around that, right? Or behind that. Back in the day, they released content intentionally when other MMOs released big updates. No, I heard a lot about that. If you hardcore 14, you can finish the tier in a week or two in 14. No, yeah, like I always complete the raid tier with my group week 1 always, and then we do our weeklies every Tuesday after that until like the first month and a half, and then we have BIS, and then we slow down after that. And obviously, I'm not trying to like flex. I'm just saying that's the most efficient you can get with it, right? And then you have time to do whatever the fuck else you want. And I feel like that's partly why I'm such a boomer now, because I clear the tier and then I don't do shit. I don't do shit. Like, I prefer clearing the tier ASAP so I can stream anything but the tier. It's weird, dude. It's weird as fuck. It gives you 3 working days to fix any problems. True, actually, yeah. Yeah, you're right. It's because of mentality that Mondays are boring. Really? It's interesting. So to hook players and to get them excited, they drop their big patches on Tuesday, or that's just what I think. Ah, okay. I mean, not a bad theory. A game theory. Are you gonna level from level 1 in WoW? I don't know, man. Okay, dudes. Honest opinion. If I were to try WoW eventually, should I do it from level 1 or should I boost? Can't wait. Harder pushing M plus, that Mythic plus keys, dude. I want to try Mythic like at least once. You know, I want to see how good or bad it is. Boost? Okay. They all boost? I see. Swipe it? Come on, man. Damn it. Fucking Blizzard. Leveling in WoW is nothing like 14. God, leveling is so easy in Final Fantasy, man. You don't have to boost in Final Fantasy. Fuck, dude. Oh, look, listen, this falls back to what I said earlier. Here we go. Now I'm comparing, right? Like, oh, Final Fantasy has it so good, man. I'm spoiled. It sucks. It sucks. WoW's easier? Are you sure? It's faster in WoW? It's faster in WoW? Wait, so no boost required? Really? What the fuck? Are you for real? Buy a boost? Wait, is it easier or is it worse? I don't get it. You can do it pretty quick, but it's not very fun. I see. Okay. So it's quick, but it's just not fun. All right. You definitely don't need a boost in WoW. People are just lazy. I mean, relatable. Relatable.
This brings us to point 4. The sheer amount of
Calling Lost Ark pay to win. I know,
MMO
man.
takes compared to finishing almost any other game. MMOs are thousands of hours long, and playtime will vary massively from player to player, but we can use the website How Long to Beat for an extremely general overview. The average completion time for Final Fantasy XIV, this is just the main story, ranges from 105 hours to 1,531 hours from a poll of around 300 people.
Dude, I want to ask Pint what his playtime is. Oh my god, dude, he hasn't completed the MSQ. He just finished Shadowbringers. That dude is crazy, bro. Finish the game, dude. You're stalling.
Guild Wars 2 clocks in at between 241 and 1,500 hours. And
nah, he's taking it slow. He's enjoying it.
Listed as between 42 and 348, depending on your efficiency. These aren't completionist times, nowhere near. Indeed, very few people will ever 100% complete an MMO. Achievements such as God walking amongst mere mortals in Guild Wars 1 or a maxed hardcore Iron Man in old school RuneScape are extremely rare, and you would not and should not expect a
I was about to
reviewer
make the
achieve
RuneScape
these types of
example as
things
well.
before reviewing a game. The question is, how much time is required, and how many other games could you
You really don't have to max out a character or like do everything available to you to have a good opinion or like review of an MMO. Like, not at all. I feel like you just need to experience like the things that actually matter, right? Like experience the community, like from a casual perspective. Try raiding, try the dungeons, the trials. Do a little bit of crafting, do a little bit of gathering, try out housing, have a guild, and I feel like you're set. You know, like you could try a couple like other things, like maybe like triple triad, I guess, or I don't know, like Bosja, but like it isn't really necessary. I feel like raiding, community, housing, a little bit of gathering, or like crafting, and you're good. You can have a really good opinion of the game at that point. You've experienced the majority of what the player base does, like with each patch, you know. Mahjong, no, triple triad, yeah, imagine that, bro. You know, like I would give a review basically after I do the raid. And have like a little bit of like an FC experience, you know. I'm not much of a crafter, but I like hanging out with friends, and I like killing shit.
Review in that same time, and this links heavily back to when mainstream gaming media chooses to avoid even attempting to review MMOs. Now, whenever I ask around, the number 100 hours gets thrown around a lot.
Yes,
Probably
sir, my
because
friend
it's a nice
Kaiser.
round number, it's the first triple-digit number, and many would agree that after 100 hours, even if you haven't finished the entire game, you will have enough information to make an informed review. And while 100 hours may sound like a long time to the average person, the time sink nature of MMOs can warp what a hardcore MMO player considers a long time. But let's have a look at how many other games you...
The real question is, why is there no slot machines at the Gold Saucer? No, dude, no. We can't have those, man. Dude, we're gonna get canceled if we do that, bro. We're gonna get canceled. It's gonna be like the loot box bullshit all over again, man. Or honing, you know? Come on, man. It's gonna be Gamba. Come on. Dudes, I'm gonna potty really quick. I gotta piss so fucking bad. Wait, I'm gonna put some music on for you guys on my way. Yo, which is the dungeon that has the smooth jazz in this game? Fuck. The library? Is the library? Google Library OST. The twinning? That's not smooth jazz, bro. Okay, this one, right? Alright. I'm gonna pee really quick, dudes. 1 sec. Give me like a minute. 1 sec. Okay, fine. I'll put the other one. I actually like the one that you guys are recommending way better. Hold on. What's that called? Academia? Yeah, let's do that one. I like that one so much better. Did this one? Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, that's really fucking loud. I'm so sorry. Thanks for being so patient, dudes. That bass sounds so good. Dude, I love that song. Why am I... Okay, we're good. Did you wash hands? Why would I wash my hands? I have a clean dick. Anyway. I was listening. I'm sorry. Yes, I washed my fucking hands. Yes. My man. Let's go. He said the thing.
Alternative content you could produce in 100 hours. I have a second YouTube channel called Josh Strife Plays, where I replay and review older video games. Let's take a random sample of 10. Castlevania Symphony of the Night took me 9 hours to beat. Devil May Cry 1 took 7. Silent Hill 1 took 8. Tomb Raider took 9. Baldur's Gate took 22. Armored Core was 8. Medieval took 8. Soul Reaver took 9. Tenchu took 9. And Rayman took 7. Combined, this is 96 hours. So when someone says to me they expect me to invest 100 hours into a single MMO before my review is considered valid, as a content creator, you could instead replay 10 of the most iconic video games of all time and make review videos on them which would appeal to a much broader audience. As a content creator...
That is so much time, dude. That's so much time.
You have to be aware
How the
of how
fuck
much
people
time
do
you're
it?
spending making content. If you were to make a 100-hour review of the 5 big MMORPGs, that's 500 collective...
Wait, I'm so sorry. Hi, Har. I asked you 2 months ago if I should become a VTuber, and you said yes. I finally did it last month and now have 1,000 followers on Twitter, and I got Twitch affiliate in just a week of streaming. Oh my god, let's go, dude! Fuck yeah, man! That's what I'd like to hear, dude. Congrats! Woo, that's exciting as fuck, man. Good for you, dude. Good for you. Right on, man. Hey, keep it up, dude. Keep it up. What the fuck, Pog? Yeah, dude. What's up, Kaiser? What kind of soap do you use? Bar, liquid, or foam? I use I guess it's liquid. It's like very thick. It's like the one in the like the bottle that like you put your hand in front of the thing, and then you push down the thing, and then it, you know, the thing right out the, yeah. Just follow. Thank you, man.
Hours put into 5 videos. You could make 50 smaller videos in that time. That's almost 1 video a week for an entire year, which would be much more efficient.
That's what it sounds
to grow
like.
A brand new YouTube channel. YouTube requires constant content, and putting hundreds of hours into gathering footage for a video is a luxury very few smaller creators have. As Ginger Prime puts it, MMOs are not only tribal by game design, but by business model. They're designed to create that in-group and then ask for both time and money from the in-group, from either subscriptions or an in-game cash shop. And if paying a lot of money over a long period of time is also required to reach the minimum requirement to review something, many simply won't bother. For older MMOs, that can become an almost impossible challenge for a new content creator. If the game has 10, 15, or even 20 years worth of content and you approach it as a brand new content creator and you're expected to play through all of it before making a video, you're spending months, potentially years of your time to gather data and increase your experience to make a video that might not even be relevant by the time you get to making it. The content may have changed, or the YouTube and Twitch viewer base may have dropped off, meaning your time investment into what could have been your career can be lost.
I feel like Asmongold was really the only person who was able to make or to like put tons of time into what was that game called, New World, and then make a really popular, or like I wouldn't say like popular, but a really like big video that massed a lot of viewing, like just a lot of views after putting in so many hours into the game, right? Like who else do you know actually did that well in New World, right? No, but then Asmon out of nowhere, he's like, yeah, so I put this many hours into this game, and this is months after the game died, and it has so many views. It's because everyone's interested to hear what he has to say, you know, like he's the guy, the MMO guy. He played that game to the ground. He did literally everything. I mean, that's not saying much. There wasn't a whole lot, but like he tried.
I think that it's very much about how you present the review. Like you can have a review,
Speak of the devil.
You can have a breakdown, you can have a first impressions, etc. So if you play a game and it's your first impressions of the game, other people can kind of take that as, hey, this is their first impressions of the game, and that's really all there is to it. And I think it's also about how you compartmentalize different parts of reviews. So like, for example, whenever you're looking at, let's say, Final Fantasy, you can give a review of, I don't know, maybe Palace of the Dead, or maybe a certain type of raid, or, you know, like All the Heavensward MSQ or something like that. You can give a compartmentalized review of that without necessarily making a general statement on the quality of the game as a whole. Like, obviously it all ties into that, but those things can exist independently. So I think that's one way that you can review the game, but I think that it's just about how somebody frames the review of the game.
If you're 20 hours in and this is the quest that you're on, you haven't experienced X, Y, and Z, and because you haven't experienced those things, you don't know that, oh, at Z, it gets really bad. It gets terrible. So of course he loves it. Of course he's having a great time right now. And of course, usually people will tell you that in the comments, that you haven't reached the good part or you haven't reached the bad part yet. But what's important is just to temper expectations, I think, for how much time you have put in. And for larger publications like IGN and stuff, it obviously will never make sense for them to really cover MMOs, because at the point where you're putting in the man hours to fully cover, like do a full review of like beat the game, similar to how you would say you beat God of War, and now
this just reminds me of those videos that Xenos dropped where he's like looking through these like Game Informer-esque websites that go over the jobs and they try to like rank them. and inform like the player base, right? But they're so unbelievably wrong. They're like, oh, Dark Knight is like this good, yada yada yada, and then Xeno's like losing his fucking mind because it's just so wrong. It's so funny. I forgot what the video was, but I saw it like a month or two ago, and dude, shit like that, like those websites, like the people who are actually writing those articles, imagine how much like take a wild guess at how much time they probably invested into the game, and then they're just like, good enough. Let's write an article, you know. This is gonna send, bro. This is gonna slap, you know. And then they fucking send it, and then it gets fucking laughed at by streamers, you know. It's just a mess. It's hard. It's hard to like bounce around a bunch of MMOs and just farm reviews when you have to dedicate so much time. It's just the nature of the game. 0 minutes. Yeah, dude. Like what they do is they probably watch a couple of videos and they're like, okay, here, let's just that's enough information, right? We don't actually have to play the game, do we? Let's go ahead and write a review. Yeah. Come on.
Well, I'm going to talk about the entirety of the game. I have this large article here. If you did a similar thing with World of Warcraft, it would take that person multiple years. And if you're having that person on payroll for multiple years just to get one article, that's never going to be worth it.
I would say 10 hours is probably a good baseline, and it should be. Like, 10 hours of gameplay in an MMO should introduce you to most of, if not all, of the systems.
No, son, dude. 10 hours is not enough, bro. Not with Final Fantasy, man. I spend 10 hours wiping my ass in game, dude. I don't do a whole lot in 10 hours. I fuck around. I walk around, just explore. I just see people doing some weird emotes. I admire the cat girls. You know, what the fuck am I supposed to do with 10 hours, dude? Hell no. I wipe my ass with 10 hours.
That you're going to see as you progress through this game. But for some reason, MMOs have this thing now where the first 10 hours very rarely represent what the entire game is. And this is where you need to play 50 hours, 100 hours. If the game completely shifts after the first 10 hours, the review's good for no one anyway.
You could put 0 minutes into it as long as you set the context of like, hey, I just booted up the game and here's my initial thought. Because essentially the people look for reviews to validate their own feelings, you know, in that regards. So I wouldn't put an hour limit on it. I think when it comes down to it, like 1,000 hours makes you considered an expert in something of that nature. So if they're saying 100 hours,
that's too much, man.
Qualify for review. So it's like I'm 1/10 of an expert on the subject. For an MMORPG, I think it's not about the time. It's about the context of what you've experienced, what you maybe have experienced before.
Yo, Brew, welcome back, man. Thank you.
And then essentially kind of talking about what systems you've touched and engaged with. Let's say you did 10 hours in an MMO and you wanted to make a video about it. Well, I think that essentially then the video should be then asking the question, am I willing to invest another 10 hours or another 30 hours into?
I'd feel like, okay, a 10-hour review of an MMO, let's say Final Fantasy, for example. This would consist of me explaining how I spent one of those hours in character creation. And maybe like 4 hours just exploring Limsa and like the world, just talking to people, and then the last hour of those 10 was the story, which I don't understand because the Realm Reborn is a hot mess in the beginning, right? That would be the worst review ever, dude. I hate to be that guy that's like, oh, dude, you need to put in 100 hours. I hate to be that guy, but at least put a little more than 10, dude. A little more than 10. Oh man, like that's just not enough
to the game, right? Because that's essentially what I would be curious about and be looking for.
The criticisms you're going to have in the first 10 hours are probably going to be the same criticisms you can have later, but you might have a different perspective on what is a totally different end game, which most MMOs are. So I don't think you can't have an opinion if you don't spend 100 hours. I think in general, your opinion's probably going to help more people because they're going to quit or experience the same things in the same time that you did. And most people are just looking for, can I have fun in this game now? Not, can I invest 100 hours and then have fun?
If you hate the core fundamental...
That's interesting. I feel like you can just have fun almost right away. Like, if you try to jump into the MSQ immediately, then you may not have fun right away with Final Fantasy, right? But if you just start fucking around in the world, you're gonna have fun almost immediately, you know? And you get your first dungeon at level 15 as well. So, like, you can have... Like, if you have fun with dungeons, then, like, you can have fun pretty early on that way. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, there's just so many different ways to have fun right away, you know? It's just Realm Reborn is a little sad. Like it's a little for like the first fucking 40 fucking levels, dude.
Gameplay, movement,
Sorry,
combat,
Sailor
audio,
Mom.
visual feedback, or responsiveness so much in the first 2 hours that no amount of well-designed endgame would be enough to make the game fun, then you can review it for as little as those hours, but call it a first impression. Ideally aim for 4 to 8 hours with the first impressions, and if you're still enjoying the game, push through to the endgame for a full review. MMOs have many different parts of them. The leveling process may be mostly irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, but this is also where the most people quit, so critique here is certainly valid. You need to break up the review process into multiple videos for different parts of the experience, or do one big 45-minute review covering it as a whole. There's no set amount of hours, but if you're reviewing games purely for your job, it's only really doable with MMOs if you take the first impression route.
Hey,
as
thanks,
you can't
Brendan.
really put hundreds of hours into each video for each game.
Obviously, very much depends on the game. But there's something, say like New World, you can get to level 30 in that game and be like, I've seen it all. I don't need to get to level 60. This is pretty much it. And I cannot imagine what they could possibly pull out of the hat at level 60 that would suddenly 180 my opinion.
I feel like you can say that about Final Fantasy at level 70, believe it or not. I feel like you can actually say that at level 70. But maybe even sooner if you don't care about ultimate rating, you know? Like, the reason I say level 70 is because level 70 is when you can experience ultimate, right? For the first time. Like, I feel like Pint right now has fully experienced Final Fantasy 14. Like, he is just a couple raid nights away from clearing Uwu, and that's it. You know? Like, he's had a full fucking year of fucking around with his FC and not doing MSQ. He's done all the way to Shadowbringers. He's almost caught up to the like the latest expansion. He's done Savage multiple times at like min item level sync and all that. No echo. And then he's about to do the same for an ultimate. You know, I feel like at that point, like, you've done it. You've done it all. And he's put a year into the game. Granted, you can do all this much sooner. You can be very efficient with this stuff. You don't have to fucking play all that time, but like, rushing it is not so fun, you know? I feel like the job of a game reviewer is just so fucking hard and annoying. Like, you can't really experience games that well.
Reminder.
Because it's
Cat
rush.
girl supremacy, best supremacy.
Yo, I agree. Thanks, Kaiser. Almost at a year, dude. Welcome back. Thanks, man. Thank you.
Of everything up until that point. So I feel like, how much does this game respect your time and then give it that equal level of respect? Because if a game is 100 hours, but it's 100 hours of incredible fun that you don't want to put down, you're just going to do that and not think twice about it.
Yeah.
Versus if you're like not looking forward to playing a video game, which is a entertaining medium, I feel like you don't really need to play more than that to kind of have your whole opinion on it. And I know some people will argue, well, after 100 hours it gets really good, but it's like, maybe it should get good 100 hours earlier. I think that's a flawed argument.
Unfortunately, you run into the issue where older games, first and foremost, require a lot more investment in terms of time, in terms of resources to actually learn, to actually get through the content. I went back into Rapples, I went back into RF Online. Getting from level 1 to level 20 took, I don't know, 15, 20 hours. And Rapples, as an example, the level cap is over 300.
I wonder if they're ever gonna go back and fix up a Realm Reborn. Like, I know they've fixed a little bit of ARR, but I wonder if they're gonna go back and actually like overhaul the entire thing. You know, they need to. I think they need to as well. Honestly, like right now it's fine, but I think ARR is a big wall for new players. Like, I think it scares away a lot of new players because it's so. You know, this person sounds vaguely like you and it tripped me up. Oh, this guy? Emmabite? I feel like I sound a lot more gym bro than him, you feel me? Like a lot more surfer dude. But yeah, no. That's totally how I feel about it. Like, I think they should really... I don't know when the fuck they're going to find the time or the budget, considering how much they're putting into like other parts of the game, like the MSQ and the jobs and all that, and the raids, the ultimates. But hopefully it's someday they can find the money. I mean, I'm sure they have plenty of money for it. I just don't think it's a priority. But like, eventually, I hope it can become a priority. So that's really what it is at this point. I honestly believe that ARR is the one thing that's holding this game back in regards to new players. And even with the way it is currently, it's still so strong. You know, like it's hard when I, as a player, have to go up and beyond to convince new players that it's worth doing. I shouldn't have to be the one to do that, you know? Eventually, I hope they can fix it so I don't have to fucking, like, sell out so hard, dude. You know, just make it easy for me to sell the game. I don't want it to be like, yo, listen, man, the game's amazing, but don't be too harsh on ARR. We all know it's bad. We're there. We're right there with you. You know, that doesn't feel good saying that, you know? It's like, we all have to like collectively agree that it's, and then it makes it like, okay, maybe it's not, maybe it gets way better later on, right? But like, I just hate saying that, dude. I promise it gets better. It gets better later, and yeah, it does. That's completely like factual. You can't deny that. But still, man, fuck, it sucks. It sucks. You know how hard it was to convince my fucking friends to try the game? Like, they would play ARR, they would quit at level 20. Like, this story sucks, man. No voices. How am I supposed to read this, man? And the animations are so shit. That's because the game had like very little budget back then, because they had to fucking rebuild from the mud after 1.0 fucking exploded. You know? Imagine having to sell ARR to people before they fix it up a little bit, dude. And before they had expansions like Shadowbringers and Endwalkers backing it up, you know? And just skip cutscene. That's what you had to say. You know, nowadays it's like, don't skip the cutscene. But back then, it was okay. It was like, yeah, just skip AR, man. Nowadays it's like, wait. You kind of need that because Endwalker is so much better if you don't skip it. Or Shadowbringers, you know? It's tough. Give AR the cinematography and voice acting direction as Endwalker. I don't know if they'll ever do that. I'd be happy with Heavensward cinematography and voice acting. I'd be happy with that much, you know? I feel like just that is enough. But AR right now is just, dude, it's such a quiet part of the game, you know? Like, not a whole lot of voice acting. It's wild.
And they tell you that it takes about 1,000 hours to even get the end game. To put in 100 hours into Rapples is the tutorial. So these old games, it doesn't matter if you put 100 hours into them, you are not going to please the people that are still actively playing them.
I'm glad that you make the distinction, because it probably is much easier for someone who's just only focused on one to then expect them to have like the super deep dive. Like a content creator I follow on Guild Wars 2 is Mighty Teapot, and Mighty Teapot pretty much only does Guild Wars 2, maybe some New World, but like only Guild Wars 2. And so you can pretty much guarantee that Mighty Teapot knows everything about Guild Wars 2. So like, you're never gonna miss anything. But it's gonna take Mighty Teapot some time to come up with all of this stuff, because they primarily stream, they don't make as many YouTube videos, the guides take more time, and so on and so forth. So I would say that with them, you would expect them to put as much time as possible, and then the kind of when it's ready approach. For starters, your point is the exact point that usually I make to people, which is like, I use KOTOR 1 or KOTOR 2 as an example, which at most those games take 15, 20 hours. So like, these games are considered like people's favorite games, and it's like, these games do not take very long to beat at all. And so when you compare them to just WoW Classic, which on average took players anywhere between 200 and 400 hours to reach max level, which is honestly like not that much if you think about it in an MMO grinder context, but in a large gaming context, it's an insane amount. I mean, it's like, that's like the amount of hours you put in a shooter, you know, that you play for a year or two or so on and so forth. And so
100 hours is just incredibly unrealistic. I do understand where general viewers would come from to expect a content creator to put 100 hours into a game, but realistically, that's not gonna happen. And I think that specifically MMORPGs are supposed to replicate different people's lives, and so have so many different paths to take that it's almost impossible to cover that. Just looking at character creation, a lot of games have multiple different starting paths. And for a viewer to expect a reviewer to experience multiple different class paths before even playing the game in order to give a valid opinion is just completely unrealistic.
Depend on the creator and what type of review that you want to create. For example, I don't think every MMO review needs to talk about raiding. I don't think every MMO review needs to talk about PvP. right? I think you could bring that up, right? You can say, oh yeah, this is a game mode. You can kind of give a brief overview, but I don't think you necessarily need to go into a deep dive about this. But I think there are certainly different types of review that may not require as much of this extreme time investment to get a proper grip on, I'd say.
I mean, yeah, I'll stand by that. I don't think that's
well fucking said, dude. Well fucking said. So, all right. So, as some of you may know, once upon a time, I used to be a bit of a cutscene skipper. I'm not gonna lie. Listen, I redid the MSQ. I've come a long way, okay? I've come a very long way. But I want to make this point because skipper! Like, I want to make this point because I used to get quite a few people hopping into my stream and attacking me because I was a skipper at the time, right? And I honestly felt like it was a little unfair because I loved the game just as much as they did, you know? If not more. And I'd probably been playing the game longer than some of these people, and they were like judging me negatively for the way I played the game, despite me not talking any sort of shit about the game, right? It's like me skipping the cutscenes at the time was enough for them to automatically like just think I'm a shitty like player or just individual, right? You know? And it's just weird. That was always weird as fuck to me, you know? Because now even after going through the MSQ fully, like new game without skipping, I still don't see eye to eye with those people. I still don't, you know? Like I understand why it would frustrate a cutscene enjoyer that someone's skipping the cutscenes when they put so much time and effort and it's just a fantastic story. I can acknowledge that and I agree, right? But I don't think it's fair to really shit on someone because of the way they want to play the game, you know? Like you could use this as an example. Let's say a raider is absolutely dunking on a casual player or an RPer, for example, right? Do you think that's right? It's like the raider is looking down on the RPer because they're playing the game a different way than they are, right? And they just think RPers are like not really how the game should be played. It's weird. It's like tribalism. This is what I mean by, like, earlier I said that it's kind of like a civil war almost, where while MMOs like MMO players are very like, there's a lot of tribalism where like Final Fantasy players fucking hate WoW players and WoW players hate Final Fantasy players. I feel like Final Fantasy players hate Final Fantasy players just as much as they hate WoW players. You know, like raiders, not all raiders hate casuals, but quite a few hate casuals. A lot of fucking casuals probably hate raiders, and a lot of fucking sprouts probably hate fucking mentors, you know? Like the elitism is ridiculous in this game at times, and it's definitely not everyone, you know? It's very unfair to label the entire community like that. But I've seen it happen time and time again. I've experienced it in many different ways. Like I've been shut on for the cutscenes. I've been shut on for being a mentor. Like it's ridiculous, dude. It's fucking ridiculous. You know, like I try to tell someone in a PF, yo, maybe you shouldn't do this way. They say, fuck you, bro. You're the reason why I unsub, and they leave the party. Okay, huh? What the fuck did I do to you, man? You know, like god damn, dude. People are so easily set off sometimes. It's ridiculous. But my point is, I don't think anyone should tell another person how to play the game unless it's like against the rules, right? Like, let's say someone is like trolling or being really aggressive or a bully or whatever the fuck, then obviously that isn't how you should be playing the game because it's literally against the TOS. But if someone just wants to enjoy the raiding and not so much the story, I can respect that. If someone doesn't want to enjoy the raids, but they want to, you know, completely digest the story, I'm all for that. If someone doesn't want to do any of that and they just want to chill with the bros and like idle at level fucking like 1 or 30 for their entire playtime, by all means, dude, play however the fuck you want. You know, I'm all for it. I think an MMO like Final Fantasy can be played however the fuck you want. You know, like there's so many different options and you can just do whatever. You can do whatever you want. You know, that's the beauty of this game. And that's why I feel so negative towards the people who like point fingers and like really have a shitty opinion of you just because you play the game differently, you know? Like, I've heard the argument that Final Fantasy 14 is one of it's a main installment in like the franchise. It's the 14th one. And at the end of the day, it technically is a story game, just like the rest of them. And it should be treated as such. I've heard that argument, but this one is very obviously different than the other ones. It's a fucking MMO, you know? And I totally understand WoW players coming over and not really doing the story because they're used to like their game not having a good story, a fulfilling story. And obviously they don't have to do that in Final Fantasy because the game is good. However, if they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. You know, I'm kind of like going in circles here and preaching to the choir, but I've just experienced it a lot. So like, yeah,
That's
yeah.
viable. Okay, and I think as well, as long as you have that communication as a creator between you and your audience to be realistic, so they understand that there has to be a certain amount of there has to be a limit. 100 hours until it gets good, or until you can really do a full review. Okay, great. I guarantee that if you were to compare that as well to, let's say you spend 20 hours. Now, personally, I've spent, Biomutant was about 20 hours. And even then, I wasn't completely finished. But I made it quite clear that I spent a set amount of time in this game. Right? I was just very transparent about it. If somebody wants to say, well, it gets better after 100 hours, I'll be like, fine, okay. Maybe it does. But then the question is, does every...
Hold on, but let me actually add on to that. So... However, here's where things actually change. Let's say you're a skipper, right? You are free to skip the story if you feel like it. Play the game however you want. But you also you give up your right to really like criticize the game for its story because you haven't experienced it, right? So like you completely give up all of that. Like you no longer have the right to say, oh, the story's shitty or it's good or whatever. I mean, I guess you could like just backseat or not backseat, bandwagon and like say, yeah, it's great, and everyone would be like, it is, bro, true, man, it is, right? But like if you haven't done the story and you say, yeah, it's shit, at that point, bro, you're kind of asking for it, like you're gonna get flamed at that point. And the same goes for like casuals who say, no, the raids fucking suck dick, they're not fun, they're just painful, I don't want to ever fucking do that, when they haven't experienced it. It's the exact same thing. It works both ways, where it's like, bro, you haven't even fucking done it, you haven't played it, why the fuck how can you give that opinion when you haven't even rated it, and vice versa. How can you give that opinion to the story when you haven't like gone through it, watched the cutscenes, you like boosted or you skipped or whatever? Lazy Pion's OG review, is that actually how it was? Like he didn't do the MSQ and then he talked shit about it? It's also a similar case where keyboard Andes who hate controller Andes or not controller Andes, but just the controller. Like I've seen that happen, right? Where mouse keyboard player they just go ham on controllers, right? And it's just like, dude, I have seen so many fucking controller players get like pinks, golds, oranges. It's very you can play just as well. Like it might be a little okay. Listen, I think DPSing or maybe tanking as a controller player is perfectly doable.
On a Friday, I had healer try to troll rescue on me when I have a tank buster for Lulu content.
Oh my god! Hey, my mom, I'm famous. Thanks for the bits, man. That sucks, man. But what was I saying? Fuck. Oh damn! I totally forgot what the fuck I was saying. Oh yeah, the controller argument. Listen, controller players are just as good. I will admit that I do feel like mouse keyboard definitely elevates the gameplay in regards to binds, but I think controller movement is really good at times. Like you have a lot of control over your character, while mouse keyboard you have better control over your hotbars, your actions, shit like that. However, you can strafe on mouse keyboard. I don't know if you can do that on controller, but like for a gaze mechanic, whenever the boss is casting the gaze, I'll literally turn my camera backwards and then I'll hit strafe one time and my character within one frame turns backwards and like I get like a frame perfect dodge. It's incredible. I don't know if controller can do that, but obviously there's pros and cons to both. But yeah, I think they're both fucking great. I personally suck balls at controller and I would never want to try it again, but I respect my controller homies. Bro, I raid with like 3 controller players and they're all cracked. They're some of the best players I know, if not the best players I know personally. Like it's just what it is. And the technology has gotten better for controllers as well. So listen, controller Andes, I got you guys. I got you guys. We're homies. We're homies. Follow me.
Everybody have 100 hours. I mean, maybe in the MMO space, but when it comes to more general games, do people really have that time within a week to, or even a month? Most of the people that watch my videos are most likely working full-time jobs.
Taking on the MMORPG, this is a lot closer to trying to review a television show or a podcast series or like Critical Role or an anime, something that is episodic. By that very nature, that also means that it's a living document. So I think it's about context. And so if you are trying to get into Final Fantasy XIV and you go ask 10 people that play it, what's the biggest parts of Final Fantasy XIV? They say, the story, the story, the story, the story. Then I think you need to clear the story. And I don't really care if it takes you 100 hours or 300 hours or 60 hours. I don't care. You need to finish the reason you're there. These are the things
I will admit, I do think it'd be a little fucking funny if you try to make like a general review of FF14 without going over the story, right? Like, listen, this goes back to what I was saying. I do think everyone should be able to play the game however they want. You can skip the story or not, but if you're going to make a review and then publish it on a website where people are going to go check for like a legitimate and honest, like full review of the game, and you haven't done the story, you're a bit of a clown. Unless you label it like, oh, FF14 start to finish as a skipper. This is the experience. This is what you can expect as a skipper, right? At that point, like, okay, you know, like at least I know what I'm about to get into, you know. But like, if you say, oh, full review of FF14, yeah, average game, but I skipped the story, you know, like it's just, well, no wonder it's average. It's because that's probably one of the best parts, right? But for a player like me, without the story, the game was fantastic. That's what's beautiful about this game, dude. It's great even without the story. Now, with everything else that I experienced plus the story, it's beyond that, dude. Dude, I have never sucked a game off so fucking hard. Like, what the fuck? I can't stop. It just tastes so fucking good.
Looking for. There have been people that have reviewed MMOs in the past and been yelled at. I think you're even talking to some of those people. And I think it's because they've come into them and said, are they good or are they bad? And those people, I didn't actually have a problem with their opinion if they had made their opinion very contextually.
For example, in Final Fantasy XIV, it's well known that it can take you hundreds of hours to reach end game. As a new person who is wanting to review Final Fantasy XIV, provided you're not using a skip or anything, which is, by the way, illegal, then you would only be able to review the story, really, and maybe a little bit of the limited low-level content. I mean, at low levels, your job is not going to feel anything like it would at max level. So basically, if someone wants to review Final Fantasy XIV, they can't until they've gone through hundreds of hours of story and not done any skips and read all of the dialogue and watched all of the cutscenes. And only after they finish all of it, all the main story, and they maybe do their first dungeon or trial, then they're allowed to give a review on Final Fantasy XIV.
But what if you could put hundreds or thousands of hours and lots of money into a video? Well, then you'd hope it would be a video which remains relevant for a long time, what we call evergreen content on YouTube. Unfortunately, because MMOs are being constantly updated, very little content created for them can be evergreen, especially if that content is a build or a guide video, which can change when the next patch or expansion comes out. And this causes a strange feedback loop, where the most efficient type of content to make as a creator is also seen as the lowest effort by the audience. And this is part 5, the time-sensitive nature of MMORPG content pushing creators to release content before it is ready or to make repetitive videos. If you spend 100 hours making a thorough, in-depth review of an MMO, it will remain at the top of the YouTube results until an update or patch comes out and someone else makes another video with that update or patch number in the title, because that's what people are now searching for and that's what the algorithm will now serve up. This links back to the viability of making one MMO video.
I need to rewatch Asmongold's review of Final Fantasy, like on Zachar. I really need to watch that back and see what he has to say about it, because I want to see him do another review eventually, right? Like he's not really playing the game too much right now, and I'm sure I know he has his reasons, but I would like to see him return one day and just like maybe do Shadowbringers, maybe Endwalker. Oh god, it's just, bro, he has such good reactions, man. Like I fuck, I'm so sad, but I'm happy that he's doing what he wants to do, man. Fucking kill it, bro. Slay, man. But like, damn, I'll be all right. I'll be all right without it. But maybe someday, maybe someday. I don't know, man. I think he just needs time. Like, he really just needs time. Like I don't want him to force it and then just have him like have a very like half-assed experience. You know, like it's just sad. You should be able to do things when you fucking want to do them. You know, like don't get fucking forced to do something. It never feels good to do something you really don't want to do unless you're like pleasantly surprised. But like even if it's a good experience, like naturally, I feel like it can still be ruined. You know. You miss watching those live streams. They were good, man. He spoke in his alt stream that the FF14 community was super toxic for him missing a day, and it kind of burnt him out. I really caught that vibe. Like it would happen on his main channel, right? Where like he would put it in his title. Oh, FF14 MSQ later, and then he wouldn't get around to it because he was too busy with the trial or whatever the fuck it was going on at the time, and then he would get fucking railed by a lot of people like, dude, what the fuck? You promised, man. You promised, man. Why aren't you playing? You know, they don't know him. That's what I was about to say. Like he's kind of always been like that, huh? And I guess it depends, like between like it depends on the viewer, right? Like me personally, if he doesn't play that day, whatever, it's all good. He'll play eventually, you know. Like that. The thing is, I've already waited this long for him to come around, so like, what's a little more waiting, you know? So like I personally would not mind if he took a little longer to play because he was busy doing some other shit, right? But I can totally see why he would get frustrated with people coming into his chat and like fucking prodding him about it. Yo, what the fuck? You said you would play, Mr. Streamer. You said you would play. And it's just like, damn. It's a little justified, but it's also not that big a deal. No, I see where they're coming from as well. Honestly, I see where they're coming from. Because yeah, like they get really hyped up and they're probably tuning into the stream only for the FF14 part of the stream rather than whatever the fuck he was doing, just to get debated, right? But I mean, at least they learned a lesson, right? Like just watch whenever he starts playing. But how will you know, right? How would you know? Just find a friend who enjoys his entire stream and then be like, yo, let me know when he gets on 14. That way you won't be disappointed, you know? Oh yeah, he didn't end up playing? Whatever, at least I wasn't there. That's how it was for me, right? Like I didn't tune into that stream. I eventually tuned into that stream because he did an interview with the V Rising dudes, and at the time I was like really enjoying V Rising, so I hopped in on that. And I think that was after he said that he wasn't gonna do Final Fantasy for the day, and I wasn't even mad because he was doing the V Rising interview, and I was so happy. I was like, oh wait, this is just as good. Okay, it wasn't just as good, but it was pretty all right. I wasn't upset. When you don't realize Aspen isn't a 14 streamer, yeah, you know he's not. He's just variety at this point. I don't know, man. Again, it's his, like, at the end of the day, it also just is his stream, and he can do whatever the fuck he wants with it. You know? Anyway, gamers, my friends, as much as I hate to say it, I don't know if we're gonna finish this video today, y'all. You know, don't end. It's a long video, dude. We made it a full hour into it. We made it to part 5. So yeah, I don't know. Finish the video, dude. We have another fucking hour to go, man. Or the entire stream was this video. I know. Look, I even changed the title. I just don't think we're gonna finish it, man. I don't. Focusing on speed over depth. Early game versus end game. Playing for fun versus playing to critique. Playing for fun. Yeah, the same thing. Okay. Well, I mean, he does. It seems like he does cover some pretty solid topics later on. But dude, it is such a fucking long video. I'm like, my brain is fucking fried from just watching this. We can finish it next stream. Yeah, we'll finish it another stream. Finish it, Trevor, next time. Dudes, I appreciate you watching this with me though. Thanks so much for watching that with me. So sorry that like today ended up turned into like a bit of a react stream. I kind of wanted to do it like mental roulette today. Fuck, I wanted to do mental roulette every stream because we're so close, but I ended up fucking getting distracted and doing other shit. Put it in a 1.5 speed. That's not a bad idea. 3 hours and 16 minutes for about an hour of video is pretty conversation. Or it's pretty good conversion, honestly. Well, another thing is that I started watching it an hour into my stream. So like, keep that in mind. We were watching a 2-hour video for. We were making pretty good time, honestly. Like it was gonna be like 2 hours and maybe 40 minutes, or maybe 3 hours tops for a 2-hour video. We were making pretty good fucking time. But anyway, gamers, as much as I hate to say it, I think this is where I'm gonna start calling it a night. But I'll be back tomorrow, okay? I'll be back tomorrow. I'm so sorry to call it a night. I know it's a little early, but tell you what, tomorrow we're probably gonna do like a 4-hour stream, maybe have it a little longer, and just we'll hang out, play the game a little bit. I promise. I promise. Anyway, gamers, if you're new to the stream, this is your first time watching me, please consider dropping a little follow for your boy. It helps out. Join the fucking Discord server, okay? I ping everyone when I go live. That's the way to know, because Twitch notifications suck balls. But the Discord ones are really obnoxious and annoying. That's the only way you'll know, okay? Join the server. Follow my Twitter. And subscribe to the YouTube, because I'm getting a VR so I can do fancy 3D shit for the YouTube videos. So sub to my YouTube, okay? By the way, Donawall, whoever runs that, don't clip this video, okay? Like, if you decide to make a react video on whatever we just reacted to today, don't bother. I didn't fucking finish it, okay? Anyway, love you guys very much. Let me see if I can rate someone before I go. We didn't fucking finish the video, dude. It's so long. All right, I kind of want to raid Whoops, I'm not gonna lie. All right, dudes, we're gonna raid Whoops. My friends, thanks so much for tuning in. I'll be back very soon, okay? Love you guys very much. I'm so glad you guys tuned in for yet another stream. So sorry for being away, but I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed LunarCon and all that fun stuff. And let's have a great week, okay? I'll be back tomorrow and we'll do some fun stuff, I promise. All right. Love you guys very much. Be safe, gamers. I'll catch you guys soon. Be safe. Have a good night or morning. See ya. Mwah.